just across the Hudson River from Manhattan. Tonight, it's the Dallas Cowboys against the New York Giants. Two National Football Conference opponents. And let's take a look at the standings in the National Football Conference Eastern Division. Dallas on top with the Giants. They meet tonight. St. Louis is tied with them. They meet Washington tomorrow night. We'll also have that game for you. We'll be back with the action in a moment. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, and along with Joe Namath and O.J. Simpson, we're looking forward to what we feel will be quite a football game tonight. The Giants and the Cowboys, it's a rivalry that goes back 25 years. There have been some bitter contests. The Cowboys have dominated for 2 decades, but last year the Giants won 2. The Cowboys think that they played a principal role in knocking them out of the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. We will not promise you a thing of cosmetic beauty because these two teams don't play that way. They dominate on defense. That is the way they have started this season. We expect that tonight. But there will be some hitting tonight. And, Joe, these are 2 of the finest defenses thus far in the season. The Giants number 1 in the National League, and, of course, the Cowboys number 2 in the conference.
That's right, Frank. That's why I look for a low-scoring game. Coach Bill Parcells this week told me that this Dallas defense, well, they bring everyone, both safeties at times, all the linebackers. He said every play looks like a jailbreak. Well, what the Giants are going to try and do is come up with the big play, go way downfield to beat the blitz, try and score a touchdown. But it's going to be tough because their best offensive player, Zeke Moat, isn't with the Giants. He's on injured reserve. And Ernest Gray, their top receiver, still isn't with the team. Defensively, well, the Giants have got their hands full because O.J. Tony Dorsett is off to a good start this season.
Yes, Tony was hot last week. He had 159 yards, and you heard him say during our halftime show last week that he thought the best way to handle this Giant team is to run at Lawrence Taylor. Well, we'll see about that. As far as the Giants' offense is concerned, what they have to do is gamble on first down while the Cowboys are playing that 4 flex defense. And on second down, if it's 2nd and 10, be conservative. Run the ball. Do whatever you have to do to stay away from 3rd and 10 or more, because that's when this Cowboy defense is at its toughest. Frank, that's just about the way I see it.
All right, this ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Dodge, a performance revolution and American revolution. And by Budweiser, the king of beers. Reach for that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by E.F. Hutton. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. And by GTE, we can do business with your business. A sellout crowd, 76,000 plus. The Giants will receive to our left. Down there is number 80, Phil McConkey. Raphael Septien is on to kick off for the Dallas Cowboys. It will be a noisy crowd. Giants fans have come to totally dislike the Dallas Cowboys, and of course that is the reverse when the Giants travel to Dallas. McConkey. And McConkey out over the 20-yard line to the 23-yard line where it will be first down, and out comes Phil Simms, who had a tremendous year a year ago. Does not pass for high percentage, but the Giants do like to go deep on many occasions. He has been a very cool quarterback. Got through a season a year ago without an injury. Passed for over 4,000 yards, the best a Giant has ever done. That has included great quarterbacks, Wyatt Tittle, Charlie Connolly. An offensive line, very capable and well-rounded wide receivers in the unit for the Giants offensively. Simms is back. Fires it out. Number 86 is out there. That's Lionel Manuel. Manuel has a first down. He's out over the 40 to the 41-yard line. He, Joe, perhaps the best of the wide receivers.
He definitely is the best of wide receivers. Coach Parcells is really high on him. Now, because the Cowboys blitz so much, they use a lot of man-to-man coverage, and Phil Simms is going to try and take advantages of this, just as he did now.
Missing was Jeff Rohr, number 50, and Manuel picks up the first down at the 40-yard line. Byron Williams is in now, number 87, at wide receiver. The setbacks, Rob Carpenter and Joe Morris. Ball is lost by Morris, and the Cowboys are saying they have it. And they do. Coming up with it, Mike Hagman, the 10-year veteran linebacker. Joe Morris never had control of that ball in the handoff from Phil Simms. Let's take a look at it. You'll see it better from the reverse angle.
Well, you'll take a look at this. Normally when the back, it's the quarterback's responsibility to get the ball to the running back. That did look like a good handoff by the quarterback, but sometimes they'll get it high on the shoulder pad.
The Cowboys, who had so many turnovers against Houston a week ago, 12 quarterback sacks. They have the football back. They're inside the Giants' 45-yard line near the 43. Danny White is the quarterback. This is Tony Dorsett. Pursued and chased out of bounds cornerback Elvis Patterson there defensively. Let's meet the Cowboys offensive unit. Danny White, once again, running things for the Cowboys for the year. A little over 54%, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions last week. 16 of 32 and a couple of TDs and a win over Houston. Tony Dorsett will be back there in a single setback, and when they come in with 2 because of the injury to Timmy Newsome, James Jones, number 23, will join Dorsett. The wide receivers are Renfro, number 82, Tony Hill, number 80, the tight end, a good one, Doug Cosby. It's 2nd down and 7, the ball near the 40-yard line. Cornwell now is in at tight end, number 85. White has a man wide open, and Renfro splits the zone right in the middle, comes down with the ball, 1st down near the 25-yard line. 15-yard pickup. Kenny Hill, recently activated, made the stop for the Giants.
Well, Gary Reasons, number 55, gets caught up with the play action fake. You see right here in the middle of the screen, he didn't get back into his coverage, which is this area right here. It was a zone defense, but Reasons was fooled by the play action fake.
John Williams is in at setback now for the Giants, number 38. Recently completed a couple of years in the USFL. They like him a lot down in Dallas. Cowboys, the 1st down at the Giants' 25-yard line. This is John Williams. They call him a power runner. He powers for about a yard, and that's it. It'll be 2nd down and 9. And let's take a look at the Giants' defense. Number 1 in the NFL. Leonard Marshall led the NFL through 4 games with 7.5 sacks. Great linebacking in the middle with Harry Carson, and of course the already legendary Lawrence Taylor on the outside. Elvis Patterson is trying to fill big shoes. All-Pro Mark Haynes has not reported to the Giants. Contract negotiations with Haynes broke off once again last week. 2nd down and 9. Danny White looks it over. Jones is in now with Dorsett. Pressure on White, but he whips it out to Jones. And Jones, who was a good receiver, he proved that last week with a key reception that kept a winning touchdown drive alive late in that game. Short of the 1st down by a couple, as Elvis Patterson was there defensively.
Elvis was there defensively, but what he did that last time was followed Mike Renfro into the secondary, and he left that short zone area open out to the outside. That's why they had a completion. You know, these defenses, they're both good defenses, but they're different defenses. Dallas runs a lot of blitzes. The Giants a lot of zone coverages without the blitzes.
3rd down and 3 from the shotgun. The Cowboys have had a tough time getting it into the end zone from in close. Danny White rifles one, gets it across the middle, gets it in there to his wide receiver, Mike Renfro, and Renfro will have the yardage for the 1st down near the 11-yard line. Mike Renfro, who came to the Cowboys a year ago to take up the slack with the retirement of Drew Pearson after being injured in an automobile accident. Played so many years for the Houston Oilers. And there is Tom Landry, now in his 26th year and tied with Don Shula as the 2nd winningest coach in the history of this game. Don Shula with a win today over Pittsburgh, the Miami Dolphins. They're tied at 246 wins. Bobbled, and the ball is loose. That was Dorsett being able to cover his own fumble just about the line of scrimmage.
Let's take a look at it. I think the pitch is somewhat low. I think Tony still should have been able to handle that pitch. He kicked it with his knee. It's too bad because they had good blocking in front, and I think Tony had room to run.
It'll be 2nd down and about 12. Was a loss of a couple. George Martin comes in. He's the pass rushing specialist for the Giants. He'll be up at the top of your screen, number 75. Curtis McGriff checks out. Danny White looks it over. Pressure on White, and White will go down. Carl Banks, the 2nd-year former 1st-round draft pick out of Michigan State, was there for the Giants, and the loss is all the way back near the 18-yard line.
That's the 2nd time I saw the Cowboys keep Tony Dorsett in the backfield. One time to block Lawrence Taylor, and this time to block Carl Banks. Now, Tony is a competitive ball player, but the Cowboys aren't going to move the ball too well tonight if they're going to leave Tony in there to block Taylor and Banks.
Well, you know, that's part of the Giants' philosophy. When they do bring a linebacker, they would love to get a running back trying to pass protect on him.
Carl Poe comes in, wide receiver, rookie from Alabama State, number 81. The Cowboys very high on this youngster. He joins Tony Hill outside with Mike Renfro. You got to watch Doug Cosby down here, however, the big tight end. Blitz on again, White chased out of the pocket. Back of the end zone, all alone, Tony Hill. Back of the end zone, Tony Hill able to stay in bounds. Danny Whitehead brought the defense up with a roll to the right, and Tony was there all alone.
But Danny White certainly did the job here. He bought the time by running right. He was trapped back there and found the open receiver. Just a good play on Danny's part and a good play on Tony's part.
Good concentration by Hill. Comes down with the touchdown, and the Cowboys are out in front. Early going in the first quarter. Raphael Septien on for the conversion. The drive is starting with a Giants fumble. Joe Morris near the 44-yard line of the Giants. And the Cowboys convert the turnover. They lead 7-0 as Tony Hill, with his 44th career touchdown, puts the Cowboys out front.
The caravan, a traditional means of transportation since the beginning of time. But a journey as unmerciful as the desert sun. Fraught with the perils of uncivilized discomfort. But now, come discover a revolutionary alternative. The remarkable Dodge Caravan. You see, our caravan has room for heavy burdens or up to 8 people. It also comes with a 5-year or 50,000-mile protection plan. Experience the civilized features and the front-wheel drive of the caravan, and you'll agree it has no equal under the sun.
You're on your way. The world is opening its doors.
I never understood when Mom made me clean my plate because there were places where kids were starving. Now I'm about to walk into a Dow laboratory to work on new ways to help grow more and better grain for those kids who so desperately need it.
Yes, you can make a difference in what tomorrow brings.
I can't wait.
'Cause Dow lets you do great things.
The Lomax to Green tandem is the St. Louis Cardinals' firepower. Can the Washington Redskins shut them down? Live at 9 Eastern, it's ABC's Monday Night Football tomorrow.
Cowboys' principal threat at the wide receiver, Tony Hill. All-time receiver, and has led the Cowboys in receptions for ever so many years. Scores from 18 yards out. Deep for the Giants is Phil McConkey, second-year Navy man with quite a story. And we'll get to a little later on. Raphael Septien boots it. McConkey takes it at the 5-yard line. Big opening. And McConkey out to the 48-yard line. Finally upset there by Dennis Thurman. But McConkey gets his first long return of a kickoff this season.
You'll see the Giants have what we call a right return on, and all the guys got over there, got a real nice wedge. McConkey just picks his way through.
He does what you have to do returning kickoffs. You run with abandon. You have to sacrifice your body. The hole sometimes is just there for a split second, and you really get pounded. The Giants, 1st and 10, the ball near their 48-yard line. Carpenter will try it outside left. Try is about it. As he's dropped, sliding out there, Jeff Rohr, who replaced Anthony Dickerson, who had occupied that spot for several years, traded at the end of the preseason to Buffalo. Jeff Rohr, a Yaley, very bright and has been very effective. They had thought that a young rookie from Virginia Tech, Jesse Penn, might replace Rohr at the right side, but Rohr has played well, according to Dallas. George Adams, a rookie first-round draft pick, number 33 for the Giants, checks in as a setback. He joins Rob Carpenter. It's 2nd down and 7. Sims with a lot of time and fires it over the middle, and he gets it to the tight end, Bavaro, the rookie from Notre Dame, who scored his first touchdown a week ago, and the Giants move it to the 31-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys on an 18-yard pickup.
Well, Bavaro released to the outside, and he just made a good move on Michael Downs and left him to the outside and beat him to the inside. He's wide open. This was supposed to be a man coverage. Excuse me, that's Clinksdale.
Downs back to make the stop at the 31-yard line. Out to the left goes Bobby Johnson. To the right, Lionel Manuel. First down and 10. 10 with a little bit of a play action. Tries to hold the backs, and he fires, and it's complete to Manuel. And Manuel will have a Giant first down. He's near the 11-yard line. Perhaps the best of these outside receivers, Lionel Manuel. He puts on some pretty good moves. He'll be working as we pick up the action against Everson Walls. He'll give you a good move to the inside. He even looked to the inside, and you could see that he turned Everson Walls all the way around. Now, Walls is a great man-for-man defender, but when you get turned around, you're going to get beat, and the Giants get a first down. Near the 12-yard line. Adams stays in, a setback. Carthen, number 44, is in there at setback for the Giants. And the rookie from Kentucky spins and twists down to the 7-yard line. A gain of about 6 yards. George Adams has had some tough sledding in the first game of the season against Philadelphia. He fumbled the ball in close inside the 5-yard line. Last week against Philadelphia, he gave up another Giants touchdown on a fumble inside the 5-yard line. But they know from his history, he is not a fumbler, a good, strong, solid running back, number 1 draft pick from Kentucky. He got 6 out of that, close to the 7-yard line. Second down and 4. Adams will work again to the 6-yard line.
I think they came back to that play because George Adams feels that he should have scored on the play before. He just evidently just came into the game. He wasn't loose, and he ran into the back of his blocker, and if he would have had his head up, he could have stepped to his right and scored on the play.
You saw him shaking his head after the first attempt. They came right back with him. The Cowboys shut it off. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Carpenter comes into the backfield. Carthen is out. Carpenter, a bit of a better receiver, out of the backfield. Bobby Johnson goes left. Manuel is to the right. The tight end is Bavaro on the passing down. Down, showing blitz, and they pick it up. Sims in pressure. He finally has to throw it away. They picked up Downs. He came right through the middle. Carpenter was able to pick him up, but Jeff Rohr closed in on Sims.
What surprised me that time is they brought Carpenter in. Tony Galbraith is one of the best receivers of all time coming out of that backfield, and this is his forte, a 3rd down play, O.J. Why wouldn't they bring in Galbraith?
Well, maybe they want to use him in the open field. All I am doing is speculating, but I like the game plan of the Giants at this point. They're throwing on 1st down.
Yeah, I'm surprised both teams have moved the ball so well. These defenses are really good defenses, but looks like the offenses are getting up for this game.
Atkinson is on for the field goal attempt at 23 yards. He missed one last week from the same distance. He does not miss this one, however. And the young rookie from Maryland, who has replaced an injured Ali Haji Sheikh, puts the Giants on the scoreboard. We're in the first quarter, 7:49 remaining.
Strength, pride, tradition. For centuries, the Clydesdales have been known as a special breed. Today, the Clydesdales symbolize Budweiser's dedication to quality, superior ingredients, exclusive beechwood aging, and a distinctively clean, crisp taste only Budweiser can offer. Quality taste, because this Bud's for you.
There's got to be more purpose in your diving. You've got to concentrate. Concentrate. Focus on the dive.
It's not enough to do many things well. You want to do one thing, the best. That takes determination, concentration, purpose, everything for one thing. At E.F. Hutton, we understand the importance of purpose. We concentrate on one purpose, serving the investor. And that's why it is, why it's been for 80 years. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
7:49 remaining from Giants Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, here in the first quarter, and Cowboys leading the Giants 7-3. Both of these teams tied at 3-1, along with the St. Louis Cardinals, who will meet the Washington Redskins tomorrow night at the nation's capital. We'll be there for that one also. A couple of nights of NFC Eastern Division action. Robert Levitt was deep for the Cowboys. Williams was back there. Atkinson puts it to the 7-yard line. This is Levitt, a rookie from Georgia Tech, and he works out over the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at some of the action around the league today. The New York Jets also co-tenants here with the Giants at Giant Stadium. They were winners over Cincinnati.
Yay!
Indianapolis over Buffalo. Indianapolis exploding against Buffalo.
Boo!
And it was Green Bay. They finally got it together against Detroit. Chicago, they had trouble against Tampa Bay earlier, but they got it back together, and they remain undefeated. Giants now Cowboys rather, first and 10. The ball near the 26-yard line. And we'll have more scores for you in just a moment. Dorsett, and he is hit right at the line of scrimmage in the arms of Carl Banks and struggles for about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9. New Orleans. Don Phillips got another birthday present down there. Saints over Philadelphia. Cleveland defeated New England to move out on top of the Central Division of the AFC. Bernie Kosar had to replace Danielson in that game. He came through with a victory. Miami over Pittsburgh. Don Shula's 246th career win. He's tied with Tom Landry as the second winningest coach in the history of the NFL, and it was the 49ers blowing away Atlanta. They marked it out to about the 27, so it'll be 2nd down and 8. Danny White, good timing pattern to Jones, and Jones hit immediately at the 32-yard line, short of the first down by about 3. It'll be 3rd and 3, and let's take a look at the rest of the action. Denver, John Elway, 12 touchdown passes thus far this year for John Elway. He's getting it together rather rapidly. The Raiders take Kansas City. They split their series, Kansas City having won earlier. And the Rams, behind Eric Dickerson, who had a tough time against Minnesota. Nevertheless, the Rams prevailed. They remain undefeated over Minnesota. And it was Seattle over San Diego. 3rd down, long 3 from the shotgun, Danny White. The big tight end goes up, and it's Cosby. He comes down with it at the 41 with a Dallas Cowboy first down. And Cosby has really taken up the slack with the loss of Drew Pearson last year, who could not play a year ago. Cosby came on with 60 receptions a year ago to set a Cowboy tight end record. And if you project his pace coming into tonight, he's had 23 receptions. He would have something like 90 receptions on the year. They really go to him in the pressure situations, the situations where they used to go to Drew Pearson. At the 41-yard line, 1st and 10, the Cowboys. Dorsett. And the Giants defense stretched it out. Tony was looking, trying to find an opening, and Carl Banks nailed him.
If I was Tony, Tony told us at halftime last week that the best way to run on this Giant team is to run at Lawrence Taylor. Now, they've run the ball about 7 times already. They haven't run one ball at Taylor. If I was Tony, I'd tell Tom Landry, did you hear me at halftime last week?
And he could also point out that Carl Banks has thus far been eating his lunch here this evening. All right, it's 2nd down and 11. They marked the loss inside the Cowboys' 40-yard line. Giants do not go with the blitz. Pressure on Danny White, and he tries to go with the screen. I believe that the Cowboys were anticipating the blitz. They didn't get it. Giant linebackers were right there with Dorsett, and Danny White just really had to put it into the turf. 3rd down, long yardage.
That was really good defense by the Giants that time. A couple of minutes ago, though, we were talking about Doug Cosby. What really impresses me about Doug is his capabilities and ability to get off the line of scrimmage. These teams' defenses know they must stop him, but yet he avoids the bump at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 11. Tony Hill up at the top of your screen. Carl Poe split to the left along with Mike Renfro. Now the blitz comes. They all come. And Danny White had to hurry a pass attempt to Tony Hill. Good coverage in the secondary. Ted Watts, the former Oakland Raider, recently acquired, was right with Tony Hill, but it was the pressure on Danny White which forced him to release it before he wanted to release it. Very sophisticated Giants crowd. Most of them have had their season tickets for decades. They are a hot item around the New York area, and they applaud the defensive unit of the Giants. You had a quick look at Phil McConkey as Mike Saxon, the 2nd best kicker in the NFC. Behind the Giants, Sean Landetta is on to punt for Dallas. Saxon puts it high, it doesn't turn over, and McConkey settles in at the 24. And is buried at the 24. So the Giants trailing 7-3 with 4:45 remaining in the first quarter. trot their offensive unit back out onto the field. And we'll be back with more action in just a moment.
So this is Beverly Hills, huh? Guess I'll get used to it. A rodeo's called Rodeo, and the best hotel is pink. I'm checking in, they're checking out. My machine is standing out. What's the matter with y'all? Ain't you ever seen a truck?
Beverly Hills truck, the hero has arrived. A new Dodge truck, stars are in their eyes. Beverly Hills truck, the hero has arrived. A new Dodge truck, got looks they idolize.
This truck was made for Hollywood. Takes the hills and takes them good. Every night's a party, I got room for everyone. This truck was born to be a star. A car can only go so far. That's right, this truck is Dodge.
Beverly Hills truck, the hero has arrived. A new Dodge truck, stars are in their eyes.
Thanks a lot, Citibank. You had to make your Visa and MasterCards better than other banks. Only your cards offer city dining. Saves my boss and his wife 20% at restaurants all over town. So now he can take a bunch of the guys out to dinner. But he still can't take his mind off of work.
All right, boys, let's all step up to the plate. Dig in. And remember, it's all in the wrist. In the wrist.
Visa and MasterCard from Citibank.
Keep your eye on the meatball.
It's the bank that makes them better.
The Boston Herald calls it engrossing new drama, Our Family Honor. Tuesday.
We're at Giant Stadium. Frank Gifford along with O.J. Simpson and Joe Namath. We're in the first quarter, 4:45 remaining, and the Dallas Cowboys over the Giants 7-3. They took a Joe Morris fumble in from 44 yards out. 18-yard touchdown pass. Danny White to Tony Hill. The Giants got a 23-yard field goal for their 3 points from Jess Atkinson. First and 10, the Giants. Bill Sims, down he goes. He's sacked back inside the 20-yard line. Ed Jones was there first. Too tall, getting there.
Now, this is what I was saying in the opening. This is when the Giants will have to get conservative. This is where the Dallas defense is at its most dangerous. And I think if I was the Giants, I'd run the ball or throw a very safe, short pass now.
You know, I could just see Warren Moon down in Houston sitting back watching tonight, nodding total approval, O.J. They got to him 12 times last week, tying an NFL record for an NFL defense in sacks. That was a loss of 5. It's 2nd and 15, and conservative it is. Joe Morris. And he breaks a tackle and stays on his feet to the 30-yard line. Good running by the former Syracuse All-American. Jeff Rohr made the stop, but that was an 11-yard pickup. And this little man, who stands 5'7" and 195 pounds as we look at him, bettered all the marks of Jimmy Brown, Larry Zonka, and Floyd Little at Syracuse. And this is why. He's strong. He's powerful. He does wear down a little bit later in the game, but when he is fresh, he is dynamite. He gets a bunch of it back. It's 3rd down and 3. The ball out over the 30-yard line. Galbraith is in there. Good receiver out of the backfield. He's in there with Adams. But the ball goes to Johnson, and he'll have first down yardage out to the 40-yard line in the arms of Ron Fellows, who pursued him all the way from the left cornerback position.
Well, it looks like Dallas is trying to cross up the Giants, but it's not working. Dallas normally would blitz in that situation. They have been during this early part of the season, but that time they just used a 4-man rush and played his own defense. Phil read it nicely.
3:15 remaining in the first quarter. Both teams 3-1. The St. Louis Cardinals are 3-1. They'll be in Washington tomorrow night with the Redskins, who are 1-3 and in desperate trouble. And we'll be there also. Sims on first down. Wide open. And he fires the completion, gets it downfield. Once again, he gets the ball to Bobby Johnson. And Johnson will have yet another first down on 14-yard pickup.
The offensive coaches from the Giants are doing an excellent job. They got this Cowboy defense figured out.
And what we just saw there was Phil Sims rolling a little bit to his right. He'll do that to try and get away from the backside pressure of the blitzes. That last time Mike Hegman came with the blitz to his side, but he was still able to complete the pass.
Iron Williams, number 87, and a wide receiver. Top of your screen. Handoff is to Morris. And Morris surges forward to the 43-yard line. Pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
You know, Frank, I heard you mention this sophisticated crowd here at Giant Stadium. Well, I can remember a few years ago when the Jets and the Giants used to play football games, and I tell you, they were anything but sophisticated when we played against them.
Sophistication in the eyes of the beholder, Joe. They've also been known to hire airplanes and circle the field, threatening to dive bomb it when they were unhappy with various coaches. Giants with a 2nd and 7. Sims has a great shot to Bavaro. The rookie from Notre Dame does not hold on. He hit him right in the hands, held it a long time, and paid for it. I want to remind you live at 3 o'clock Eastern from State College, Pennsylvania, Saturday on CFA College Football. Unbeaten National Powers get it together with 7th-ranked. The Nittany Lions of Penn State take on 8th-ranked Alabama. Coverage begins live at 3:30 Eastern with College Football Today, Saturday here on ABC. And you're going to watch a couple of real powerhouses. Unbeaten Penn State, unbeaten Alabama. 3rd down, 7 from the shotgun. Sims looks it over and changes it off. A little rolling pocket for Sims. And Sims held it as long as he could until Bates was right in his face. He tried to get it deep to Manuel. Incomplete. It'll be 4th down. And this is where they miss an Ali Haji Sheikh because they genuinely could try a field goal. Ali Haji Sheikh has made field goals from 56 yards. But they have to bring the punter in, Sean Landetta, who is leading the National Football Conference. Acquired from the Stars of the USFL after a great 2-year career there. Replacing a very popular Dave Jennings, who is now kicking for the Jets. It's like a soap opera, the punting story with the Giants. You had a look at Gonzalez, the rookie from Bethune-Cookman, who settled for a fair catch near the 17-yard line for the Dallas Cowboys. 2:11 remaining here in the first quarter. The Giants and the Cowboys getting it on as they have for nearly a quarter of a century in a bitter rivalry.
He's just an innocent guy looking for a little fun.
Hi, this is Paul Hackett. We met earlier tonight.
Hi, maybe you should come over, Paul.
But before the night's over, he's going to be picked up, pushed around, put on, wrung out, flung out, strung out, pawed, punked, plastered, and papier-mâché.
What have I done? Just a word processor.
It could only happen after hours. Rated R. Now at select theaters, coming soon to additional locations.
This Halloween, don't just ask for a light beer.
Bartender, please, give me a light. No, Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Now, how about if I tweet?
Make this Halloween a Bud Light Fright Night. Look for this display with free poster and special mug offer at participating retailers.
See, I'm an accountant.
There's something special on the horizon. American Airlines Ultimate Super Savers. Incredible low fares to over 90 cities throughout the continental U.S. and Canada. Discounts up to 70%. Fares from $44 to $151. Call American Airlines for an Ultimate Super Saver before another day passes you by.
We're American Airlines, something special in the air.
Randy White, he's the best in his business. He's talking to a man who is the best in his, the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. But when Ernie Stotner was doing things at right defensive end for the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the 50s, there was none as good as Stotner. He used to eat the offensive tackle alive practically. He's done a fine job with the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys 1st down and 10, the ball near their 17-yard line. They lead the Giants 7-3, 2:11 remaining in the first quarter. Tony Dorsett, single setback. That's Jones on the move. Danny White gets it to Renfro. Renfro steps out of bounds a yard short of the 1st down. They'll mark it up to about the 26-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 1. These two teams, as I mentioned, tied for first place in the NFC Eastern Division tomorrow night. Neil Lomax, Roy Green, O.J. Anderson going against the Washington Redskins. The Cardinals are 3-1. The Redskins 1-3. If they blow that one, they are in deep trouble, and they know that. Kind of mystifying what's happened to the Redskins. We'll talk about it a little later on at halftime. 2nd and 1, breaking it off to the outside is Dorsett. Trying to get to that 1st down marker. Elvis Patterson was up there. And they will cross the field, so we may well have a measurement. Nope, they will give him the 1st down.
You know, he may have gotten the first, or he did get the first down that time, but earlier in the day we met with Coach Parcells, and the Giants are doing exactly what they'd like to do with Dorsett. Make him run east and west rather than north and south. They're forcing him outside, but he's not gaining a lot of yardage outside.
We watched him all night. In this first quarter, at least. Hunting, pecking, not getting that first cut. Great linebacking by these Giants. They pursue along that line of scrimmage. They're like a bunch of predators, and then they prowl, and finally they pounce. First and 10. White, wide open, downfield, and White puts it in. Fine pass, finding Tony Hill. He'll have the first down out close to the 44-yard line on an 18-yard pickup. Good pass protection, plenty of time for White. Hill ran the perfect pattern. Put the drive on the deep man. Turned it inside, and Danny White was right there. Former quarterback, Joe. And he was in high school. Tony Hill. Long Beach Poly, California, many years ago.
I think all the good athletes played quarterback at one time or another.
I thought you might bring that up. On first and 10. Cornwall, the tight end, in motion, and this is Dorsett. They string it out again, but this time Dorsett gets around the corner. They'll hold him to about 5 yards on that. Kenny Hill, recently activated, is up there for the stop. Kenny Hill has missed the first 4 games with a sore ankle, sprained ankle. There he is, a Yaley who has a degree in molecular biophysics. Has a little tough time with the zone defense, however, according to Bill Parcells.
Yeah, you know, I was wondering how good they're going to perform tonight. Kenny hasn't been playing, and now Terry Kennard, who's a normal free safety, is back at his normal position, but they haven't been working together up until this week.
Second down and 5. The ball is near the 49-yard line of the Cowboys. Play action by Danny. That is Renfro, and he was wide open in front of Elvis Patterson. That time, Patterson probably in some kind of a trade-off zone, but it was his man, and Patterson was laying way off.
Well, that's
expect
exactly
great
what it
things
was
from Patterson. Joe, he's coming on. He's a great athlete, but every time you look out there, you, of course, remember the great years that Mark Haynes had there, who, by the way, I mentioned earlier, was in town last week. Meetings between his agent, Howard Slusher, George Young, the general manager of the Giants, were not fruitful. They broke off once again, and Mark Haynes saying that he wanted to be traded. He didn't feel he could play here anymore. Negotiations reportedly got up somewhere around $400,000 or $500,000 a year. That was not enough. So Mark Haynes remains a holdout. It's first down and 10. This is Dorsett. Flag is down as Dorsett shows the power that he has at 185 pounds. He came into the night needing only 117 yards to become the 6th player in the history of this game to make 10,000 yards rushing. As you see the holding indicated against the Cowboys. But OJ, you know what a pounding a running back takes, and he is 185 pounds. Well, tell me about how he does it.
Well, he does it with quickness, obviously, and he's a heads-up smart runner, and for the last 9 years, he's played on one of the better teams.
Holding, offense, number 82. First down.
He played on one of the better teams in football, and the way they run things here in Dallas, he hasn't taken the pounding on 3rd and 1. You know, that's what shortens the life expectancy of a running back, those 3rd and 1s, those short yardage situations, and over the years, Tony hasn't had to carry the burden of that.
First down and 20 now. Final seconds of the first quarter ticking off. They may not get this play off. And they will not. Well, the first quarter ends with the Cowboys leading the Giants 7-3, and we'll be back with second quarter action. The Cowboys have a first down and 20 at the 44 of the Giants.
Life's not always easy, and no one said it's fair.
Nobody is better prepared to help you manage the new health care than an old friend.
But you can find some peace of mind when you hold on to the one that cares. Carry on with the life you're living. Carry the caring card.
The Blue Cross and Blue Shield card.
It's great for kids to be in the NFL Super Pro Club, right, Eric? Right, John, and your kids can join us. Hey, there's an NFL Super Pro. Welcome to the club. Every Super Pro member gets an ID card from their favorite team.
Wow.
This Super Pro membership certificate.
Gee.
And their team decal.
Wow.
and a team calendar with action photos of their favorite stars. The NFL Fun Book and newsletters full of inside information. And this standing board to track their favorite teams to the Super Bowl. Right, Eric? Oh, yeah?
Oh.
It's all worth much more than the $7.50 membership fee. And it's easy to join. Send name, address, name a favorite team, and $7.50 membership fee to NFL Super Pro Club, Post Box 9000, Trenton, New Jersey, 08650.
And your kids can join us.
Watch News 7 tonight on Washington's Channel 7.
Giant Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. We begin the second quarter between the Giants and the Cowboys. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Giants trailing the Cowboys 7-3. Cowboys have the football at the Giants' 44-yard line, first down and 20. Danny White, 9 of 11, 103 yards, 1 touchdown, an 18-yard shot to Tony Hill. Out of time for Danny White. James Jones. And he moves inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. It'll be second down and 12. Dickerson today, we read off those scores a while ago. We mentioned he struggled a little bit. 25 carries for how many yards, O.J.? 55 yards. That's not a typical Dickerson day against Minnesota.
Well, I figured
they did a job on him.
I figured he'd have a couple of tough weeks after, missing training camp. But starting next week, he should start looking like Eric again.
Second down and 12. The ball at the 38-yard line of the Giants. Renfro is split right. Tony Hill, top of your screen. Dorsett moves out into the pattern. Tony Hill held short of the first down near the 27-yard line. Harry Carson roamed out there from his linebacking position. It'll be third down and 3.
That last pass was a choice for Danny White to either go to Hill or Tony Dorsett. They split that zone area. And, of course, Hill was open in between Harry Carson and Lawrence Taylor.
And the strategy being, of course, I think you saw a good shot of it on your screen, good coverage of it. Had Tony Hill been covered, they would have got that ball to Tony Dorsett. A couple of pretty powerful weapons. Third and 3 from the shotgun. The Giants showing blitz. They drop out of it. Good shot. Danny White connecting up with Tony Dorsett. He'll have a first down near the 26-yard line. Dorsett, 159 yards rushing last week against Houston. Now they're using him as a pass receiver. That's Lawrence Taylor trying to stay with him, a difficult job for anyone.
And Tony did the exact right thing to do. What you want to do is lean into that linebacker. And when Lawrence pushed him, he actually helped Tony to get to where he wanted to go.
And he got there for the first down inside the Giants' 22-yard line. Now John Williams comes in. USFLer. Michigan and then Oakland. Williams is hammered right at the line of scrimmage. Lawrence Taylor is there reading it all the way. He might have got a yard out of it. Let's watch Taylor. He does things other people can't do.
Well, he has a free read on that. He's reading that tackle. The minute that tackle blocked down, he didn't see the the running back come out, so he just folded right down the backside of that linebacker, and he was there when the runner got there.
So quick, so fast, so strong. Lawrence Taylor had a remarkable career, now in his 5th year here at the Giants. Less than a yard, so we'll call a second down and 10. Crowd getting into it. Jones pops it up the middle. Or Tony Dorsett, rather, and that's the one you spoke of. O.J., that you said you thought they'd like to break him through the middle. That time he busts through, gets down to about the 11-yard line. He'll have first down yardage or very close to it. Let's take a look at it.
It's a real nice pop in there, real nice blocking. There was no linebacker in there. Now, Tony surprised me there. Tony, he lives for those one-on-one situations, and Terry Kennard came up there and made a touchdown-saving tackle.
That was a heck of a block by Glenn Titan, sir, the left guard. He pulled in a trap play that time, made a terrific block.
The measurement. First down, Dallas. 12-yard line of the Giants. And this drive started on the 17-yard line, so this could change one of our statistics, an impressive statistics for the #1 defense in the NFL through 4 games, that of the New York Giants. Danny White with a first down. Splits Tony Hill to the left. Now he'll put the other wide receiver, Renfro, in the slot. Top of your screen. Dorsett. And Dorsett gets inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Gain of 3, 4. It'll be second down and 6.
See, I'll always say this. I've always been against rotating running backs. When you have a great running back, you have to run him. I don't care if he doesn't gain yards in the first half of the game. The more you run him, the better he's going to feel about running, and his statistics will improve. Those aren't impressive, but in the last 3 runs, Tony has gotten he almost broke a couple of them.
Bang, 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 and pretty soon you'll pop one. We saw him pop a moment ago for a first down. You cannot keep the great ones down all the time. Just keep giving it to them. Second and 6. That's Dorsett, single setback. They work him again, right side. Tripped up as he tries to get to the outside. It was Carl Banks making the defensive play for the Giants. Dorsett stopped at just about the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. It'll be third down and 5. Carl Banks, great career at Michigan State. Worked his way into the lineup midseason a year ago. And just really plays in the shadow of the other 2 Pro Bowl linebackers for the Giants, Lawrence Taylor and Harry Carson, but he is improving seemingly with every game. Well, they have marked it at the 8-yard line, so it's third down and 6. Danny White with a lot of time and gets it into the end zone. Renfro working back in the back of the end zone, sees Danny White in trouble, stepped in front of a Giant defender, touchdown Dallas. Very cool work on the part of Danny White and also Mike Renfro.
Yeah, Renfro gets away from Perry Williams here, but again, these cornerbacks in the National Football League cannot stay with these receivers all night long. Danny White, again, you have to get credit to for buying the time. He moved around, got to the outside, and found Renfro open. Renfro waving the arm, stepping in from the back of the end zone, presenting a big target. Danny White was there. Septien for the conversion. Ogaboo, the backup quarterback, places it down. Septien makes it a 14-3 ball game. Danny White with a pair of touchdown passes. Renfro with the lateral.
Though in reality you can't hear them, different computers speak different languages, which has been known to create a communications problem. That's why more and more companies are hooking up to our international Telenet network. Telenet enables different types of computers to speak the same language. G? No, GTE.
Drivers have come to us. They believe in liberty, Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm a safe driver, so I shopped around for car insurance. Liberty Mutual gave me the best protection and saved me money, too. I believe in liberty.
America believes in liberty. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Saturday, undefeated college powers collide when 7th-ranked Penn State runs into number 8 Alabama. Coverage begins with College Football Today, Saturday on ABC.
Mike Renfro's father, a great all-pro running back and receiver for the Cleveland Browns, used to be a Cowboys coach. Mike Renfro, as a little boy, was a ball boy with these Dallas Cowboys, and he has just caught an 8-yard touchdown pass. Deep for the Giants is Phil McConkey. Septien has it on the tee, and the Cowboys moving the ball almost to will against the Giants. They've been running the ball on the ground, and they have been hitting those short passes. They just moved right down the field to the 17-yard line for that touchdown. McConkey from the goal line. Dragged down out close to the 13-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 Giants. I want to remind our viewers on the West Coast after the football action tonight, America's newest hero, MacGyver, is in action rescuing hostages trapped in Southeast Asia. That's right after the game on the West Coast, MacGyver. And for most of you in the rest of the country, catch the ABC News Weekend Report later tonight. Giants have a 1st and 10. The ball at their own 14-yard line. They only have 3 points on the scoreboard. They trail 14-3, the Dallas Cowboys. 11 minutes remaining in the first half. Morris, and he is pounded. Jim Jeffcoat, a #1 draft pick out of Arizona State 3 years ago, and he does seem to improve almost with each game, but playing alongside Randy White on the right side, Jeffcoat can do so many things.
I'm just upset because I think what the Giants were doing was the absolute right thing. They're throwing against the flex defense on 1st down. The flex defense is geared to stop the run, and I guess because their backs are against their goal line, they decided to go against their game plan.
That will get your attention. 2nd and 13. Sims has it batted away. Trying to get the ball downfield to Williams. A ball batted away. I don't know who got the hand on that. This is John Dutton. He was in the area along with Ed Jones. A lot of height over on that side. Ed Jones is 6'9", Dutton is 6'7". 3rd down, long yardage, and Sims will move from the shotgun. The ball inside the Giants, 10 at the 9. Galbraith in the lineup, number 30. We've already talked about him, working out of the backfield as a receiver. McConkey, and he comes down with a giant 1st down out over the 35 to the 37. Youngster that we saw, remember OJ, a couple of years ago? He had served his time after graduating from the Navy 4 years. The Navy people watched him during preseason. He had to go back and serve in '83. Came back a year ago and made this team, and he has just made a big 1st down between the Dallas defense out to the 36-yard line.
One of my favorite stories, a kid who was in the Navy, suffered from chronic seasickness, so he would take the helicopter up and circle the aircraft carrier until he got over being sick, and then he'd come back down.
Giants with the 1st down. Trailing 14-3. Sims wants a big one, trying to get it deep. And in and out of the hands of Manuel. I don't know whether he would have been in bounds. They were trying to beat Everson Walls. Everson Walls does not have great speed, but he has tremendous instincts.
And this was a pretty well thrown pass here. Everson just makes a heck of a play. Now this is one of the things the Giants are going to try and do occasionally, is get deep, especially when Dallas shows the all-out blitz. The Giants may keep both of their offensive backs in to help pick up the blitz and just send 2 wide receivers down the field.
2nd down and 10. Adams, number 33, the rookie from Kentucky, is in with Maurice Carthen at setback. Sims has the time. Bobby Johnson. And it's the Giants' 1st down inside Dallas's 30-yard line. Michael Downs chased Bobby Johnson down. 33-yard pickup. Cool play by Sims. He was under a lot of pressure.
He was under a lot of pressure, and he waited just until he opened up. Broke it right underneath the zone defense, and Bobby's on his way. What they did is the other receiver on that side cleared out the zone defense so Bobby could get underneath it without any coverage.
Good receiver for the Giants. They got him as a free agent a year ago because most of the NFL teams thought that after he had graduated from Kansas, he had made a USL commitment. He had not. And the Giants have got a lot of mileage out of him. On 1st and 10, Sims is back. Open is Manuel, and Manuel comes down with the football inside the 15-yard line, working against Everson Walls. And this youngster has really improved. A 7th-round pick a year ago. They didn't even use him much until mid-season, and he wound up with 33 receptions, and coming into tonight, he was the leading receiver in average per catch in the NFC. He perhaps has the best moves of all the Giant receivers. He gets the 1st down inside the 15-yard line of the Cowboys. Carpenter and Adams are the setbacks. Sims had a man open in the end zone. It was Johnson. He overthrows, and he knows he has overthrown it.
Oh, he had him open. The entire offense, well, all of the receivers anyway, flooded the right side of the football field, and that cleared all the defenders out of the way except for Ron Fellows, and actually Phil just missed him. I was just getting ready to say that Phil Simms is having a good game tonight so far statistically. People are saying, well, he's only completing 40-some% of his passes coming into this game. Well, again, they're without Moab. They're without Ernest Gray, and they do like to throw the ball downfield. They don't throw many of the dump-off stuff, or much of the dump-off stuff.
Williams is in. Wide receiver splits to the left. Manuel, top of your screen. The Cowboys are showing blitz, and they come with it. Simms does not have a chance, and down he goes. And this is what the Cowboys did last week to the Houston Oilers. Moon. That was Michael Downs on the blitz. Hagman was coming. Rohr was coming. And the Giants just had not enough people deployed to pick it up.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure Simms read it. In fact, I'm sure Simms read it, but Lionel Manuel didn't read it. Phil tried to get the ball out to the right side. See, that's what the Cowboys do. They make the receivers and the quarterback sight adjust their patterns, and when they have a 2nd and 10 or 12, they'll let them complete the 8-yarder, but they'll tackle them on the spot. They're forcing the receivers to read the blitz as well as the quarterback, and the receivers foul up now and then.
3rd down, 16. This drive began at the Giants' 14-yard line. And Phil Simms looks at that defense of the Cowboys. They have 3 down linemen. He didn't like what he saw. He used the Giants' timeout. We'll be back in a moment.
Just a little north of Boston, in the old town of Marblehead, is a place where only local people used to eat. But the scallopini and the scampi were so good that word soon got out that a night in Rosalie's was like a night in Milan. But if you go there, remember, bring a big appetite and bring your Visa card. Because at Rosalie's, they don't take no for an answer, and they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
The kind of car that brings the road alive. Have you driven a Ford? Then you don't know what you're missing. Have you driven a Ford? Driven a Ford? Have you driven a Ford lately?
Trail boss on a cattle drive. You put in long days under the big sky, and when the work's over, you head for the mountains. Bush. Head for the beer that goes down smooth as a mountain stream. Brewed the natural way, so it's always as smooth as its name. Bush. Head for Bush beer. Head for the mountain.
Back at Giant Stadium, midway through the 2nd quarter, we're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves. Frank Gifford along with Joe Namath and O.J. Simpson watching the Dallas Cowboys, and the Giants get it on as they have been doing for a quarter of a century. Cowboys with a couple of touchdown passes. Danny White to Tony Hill and to Renfro lead the Giants 14-3. Giants looking over 3rd down, 16. Simms tried to get it into the end zone, intended for Byron Williams. Good coverage right in front of Byron Williams. Jesse Atkinson will now come on. And we'll see a Giants field goal attempt. That drive began at the Giants 14-yard line, and they just snapped off big play after big play, and all of a sudden they come with the blitz. They get to Phil Simms. He was unable to get the ball to Manuel. And now the field goal kicker is on.
We'll see how much they miss. Haja Sheik.
37-yard attempt. Youngster from Maryland did hit a 49-yarder last week, but he scared him when he missed from 23 yards out, and now he hits from 37. So all the Giants can negotiate is another 3-pointer, and they trail the Cowboys 14-6. We'll be back.
IBM presents You Make the Call. Randy Wright of the Packers throws a lateral pass, which is muffed by Jesse Clark. Raider Lyle Alzado then touches the ball before it goes out of bounds. Now you make the call. Where do you spot the ball?
If you're waiting to buy a personal computer, you may have questions about power, expandability, and dollars and cents. For the complete answer, take a close look at IBM. An IBM PC runs thousands of programs, expands easily, and prices are better than ever. So don't wait. Once you take the first step, the rest come easy. IBM Personal Computers.
What call did you make? Since Alzado did not gain possession of the lateral, the ball belongs to the offense at the spot where it went out of bounds.
Ford Escort is the world's best-selling car. Nobody can seem to catch it. Escort outsells Nissan Sentra, Honda Civic, and Toyota Tercel by 2 to 1 or more. And with its more powerful engine, Escort could make the gap even wider. So while Ford Escort continues to be the world's best-selling car, the competition somehow seems to miss the boat. Have you driven the best-built American cars? Have you driven a Ford lately?
Thursday. Her name's Lady Blue.
Put that one on my bill.
Deep for the Cowboys, awaiting the kickoff. Robert Lafette, a rookie from Georgia Tech who had a great career at Georgia Tech. Also back there is John Williams, USFLer from Michigan, later open, has played in the USFL Championship game this past summer right here at Giants Stadium. Atkinson will kick off. The Giants trailing 14-6. High kick that will carry inside the 5 to Robert Lafette. Flags go down as Lafette works it out to the 34-yard line, but flags are down. While they sort it out, just a couple of congratulations to a couple of very special people in the world of sports. Phil Niekro won his 300th today, the oldest pitcher ever at the age of 46 to get a shutout. And to Eddie Robinson, one of our special friends down at Grambling, he won 324. I guess it was yesterday. Congratulations to them.
Illegal use of the hands, number 59 on the returning team. First down.
And Eddie Robinson becomes the winningest coach, college coach in the history of the game, replacing, I know, one of your dear friends, the late Bear Bryant, Joe.
Yep. You know, I saw Coach Robinson on television today, and he said, you know, the record is great. The players did it, of course. But one of the things he's really proud of is being at Grambling for 44 years. He thinks that's pretty remarkable. And having the same wife for 44 years.
Maybe that's why he looks 44 years old. Young-looking man.
First and 10 Dallas. They lead the Giants 14-6. The ball near the 12-yard line. Whistles blow. Something was out on the field, and they now have cleared it up. Our referee tonight is Chuck Heberling. Giants were 9-7 a year ago, as were the Dallas Cowboys, as were the St. Louis Cardinals. In the tie-breaking procedure, the Giants, with a couple of wins over the Cowboys, went to the playoffs. They beat the Rams and then ultimately lost to the 49ers. And the Cowboys, for the first time in 10 years, did not reach the playoffs. They would like to rectify that this year. First and 10 set to go once again. Inside handoff, John Williams. And Williams, they say, he likes to hit. You just heard the results of that.
Perry Williams. Well, I tell you, Perry, if you're going to be one-on-one with that man, you better start yelling for help. It was a good tackle, but I think John Williams did the damage on the play.
5'11", 213 pounds, and Tex Schramm was saying earlier today in a conversation we all had with him that he could become a power back for this team.
From the looks of that last play, he is a power back.
He really provided a collision. Just short of the first down with John Williams. It'll be second down and a yard. Dorsett, big opening. And Dorsett just explodes out to the 35-yard line. And this is what the Cowboys love to do. They like to pop him in the middle, and he can get yardage so quickly.
Well, that was in the middle, but it was a little bit to the left, to the side of Lawrence Taylor, and that's the first two times tonight that they've run to Taylor's side, and they're averaging about 10 yards a run over there. So
Dorsett is hurting as we look at him. And let's look at OJ. He's wearing something on his back, a big pad. He has a fractured transverse process from a couple of weeks ago. And he is in pain right now as we look at that run once again.
Oh, Tom Rafferty just threw a terrific block on Jim Burt. Give Tom Rafferty credit for that hole.
They continue to look at Tony Dorsett. That's what he needs for 10,000 yards to become only the 6th player in the history of this game to do so. He has been so tough, so strong over his 9-year career. And as they continue to look at Dorsett, we'll remind you once again that we'll be flying to the nation's capital immediately after tonight's game. For this meeting, the Cardinals against the Redskins. The Cardinals, of course, 1-3. They are tied with the Giants and the Cowboys into tonight's game. And the Washington Redskins, my, how they have struggled. We saw them against the Cowboys in the first game of the season when they lost to the Cowboys, and they have struggled ever since. They were 1-3. Let's take a look at it once again.
I don't know if this is his back. I think he's sort of stretched out when he goes down, and he could have just fallen on the ball.
It was Kenny Hill right on top of him, and that happens so frequently if you're a ball carrier. You know that when you and whoever tackles you come down together on the ball, it can really smart. It can take the wind right out of you, and we suspect that maybe that is what has happened to Tony Dorsett. We'll try and get a extensive report from the bench, but Tony is out of the game, and Robert Levette, a rookie from Georgia Tech, is in. Levette, the 4th-round draft pick, rushed for over 4,000 yards in a great career at Georgia Tech, so they're giving up quite a deal when they bring Tony Dorsett out, but Levette is also a fine running back. Danny White. This is James Jones. And Jones just short of another Cowboy first down near the 43-yard line. Here's a youngster that has been around 5 years but has played so little over the past 2 years because of knee problems. He can do a lot of things. He's a good receiver. They got him in the 3rd round in 1980. Literally has played hardly any over the last 2 years because of knee problems. Timmy Newsome, as I mentioned at the top of the telecast, the man who replaced Ron Springs at the fullback position for Dallas, is injured, unable to go tonight. So James Jones has been working in Newsome's spot. Now Newsome is out. Dorsett is out. We have Levette and Jones, the 2 setbacks. 2nd and 2. This is Levette. And he'll have a first down. He's up close to midfield in the arms of Lawrence Taylor. 5:30 remaining in the first half. The Cowboys on top 14-6.
You know, Joe, I don't think I've seen the Cowboys run so many play-action passes. I guess it's because of the heart and soul of this Giant defense is their linebackers, so maybe they're trying to hold them and take advantage of the linebackers.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're holding the linebackers with the play-action fakes. That's the first down the last time they got 8 yards because Gary Reasons got caught up reading the fake.
White is completed. His last 8 passes. He's 14 of 16. He's got a hot hand. 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. On first down. Gets it out to Renfro. And the short underneath route does not get the first down, but it brings the Cowboys to the Giants 43, where it will be 2nd down and a long 2.
Now, Joe, wouldn't you say in a zone defense, now that's a typical example of a pass that it's difficult for a cornerback to prevent. A linebacker has to get there and get in the way.
He has to get underneath help from the linebacker or the strong safety. I'll tell you, I'm really impressed with whomever's calling these Dallas Cowboys plays.
Tom Landry calls the Dallas Cowboy plays. And he has just sent Tony Dorsett back into the lineup. So as we speculated, it was the wind knocked out of him from falling on the football. A lot of time. And Danny White just finally throws it away. He was looking for Tony Hill deep downfield. Checked it off, overthrowing James Jones. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Old Danny. Danny's the offensive captain of this team, selected by his teammates, I might add. And Danny's only throwing, look at this, 15 out of 18 passes tonight. He's only throwing 4 interceptions on the whole season, and 3 of those came in one game. So Danny is very smart with where he's putting the ball this season. That's hot, 15 out of 18.
And I think 2 of them were throwaways. At least the last one we know was a throwaway.
The Giants have held their opposition's quarterbacks to 48% completions thus far this year, and Danny White is making a rapidly making a myth out of that one. But blitz is on. Danny White gets it off, and Tony Hill is there. Good read by White. Had a Giant right in his face. Tony Hill was reading with him, and it winds up with a Cowboy first down inside the 35-yard line. 11-yard pickup. There's some hammering going on tonight. These two teams really do not care a whole lot about each other. Dexter Clinkscale made some rather interrogating remarks about the Giants this past week. Said the defense can take them where they want to go, the special teams can take them where they want to go, and the offense can keep them from getting there. Said that to a bunch of gathered newsmen. Those are things that, well, usually are not said. On 1st and 10, Dorsett. And he hammers to the 31-yard line, gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. I think the feelings up here are just about the feelings that you have when you go to Texas Stadium with a Giants team. It all began so many years ago when the Giants dominated the Cowboys in their early years. The Cowboy franchise began in '60, and the last time the Giants were favored, and they're favored here tonight, was back in 1965 when Don Meredith brought the Cowboys into Giants Stadium, produced a 35-22 victory, I think it was, with 3 touchdown passes. That was the last time the Giants were favored in this series. 2nd and 9. Danny White. Great shot, gets it to Renfro. Renfro doing a number on Perry Williams, took him deep on a fly. Williams was turning into a sprint with him, and all of a sudden Renfro is back, and Danny White read it beautifully and got it to him.
Danny read it and got it to him on time. This is a beautiful timing pattern here. These guys practice this thing day in and day out.
And it'll be 1st down once again, Dallas at the 15-yard line. Danny White with a hot hand tonight.
One of the reasons Danny's getting so much time is that when Dorsett is in the game, he's doing a pretty fair job of picking up the blitzing linebacker.
They'll get the 2-minute warning, and Danny White will go over and meet with head coach Tom Landry. We'll be back in just a moment.
No matter what unexpected problems should arise, Transamerica Property, Casualty, and Life Insurance can be there to protect you.
Hey, you big ape! Who's gonna pay for this mess?
Transamerica. Insurance, finance, manufacturing, transportation, innovation. The power of the pyramid is working for you.
You can manage your business with the Tandy 6000 from Radio Shack, a powerful multi-user system that allows your office to work together by sharing one computer with word processing and data processing for strategic planning and control. Information sharing is essential for success, and the Tandy 6000 gives you a wealth of information for sound business decisions. Tandy computers, in business, for business, only at Radio Shack Computer Centers.
Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't be buttoned up and down to earth underneath it all?
Who says you can't have super premium taste and a less filling beer?
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all.
The Lomax to Green tandem is the St. Louis Cardinals' firepower. Can the Washington Redskins shut them down? Live at 9 Eastern, it's ABC's Monday Night Football tomorrow.
Danny White doing a number on the Giants defense. He's 17 of 20, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's the Giants defense #1 in the league through the first 4 games and leading the league with 23 sacks. They have not been pressuring Danny White, however, tonight. Cowboys with the first down near the Giants' 15-yard line. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. White. This one will be picked off. Kenny Hill going up. He one-hands it, and Kenny Hill, who was just activated, brought off the injured reserve list. One-hands a Danny White pass. Danny White says, wow, I'd like to have that back. The Yaley, over the past 4 years, has been with the Raiders. Makes a big play for the Giants. As Kenny Hill gets his first career interception. And Danny White would love to have that one back. Curtis McGriff pressuring Danny White, but he thought he could get it in. And the Giants get the football back at their own 20-yard line. They trail 14-6, 1:53 remaining in the first half. And the Giants come out of the shotgun. They have 2 timeouts. Bill Sims spun to the outside, and he spun right into defender Ed Jones, and that's a big one to spin into.
Well, that's a case where the quarterback and Carl Nelson, the right offensive tackle, are on the same page. It looked to me like Sims had predetermined that he was going to roll to his right, and Carl Nelson blocked Too Tall Jones to the outside.
Well, it's kind of hard to take Too Tall where you want to take him. And I think Too Tall was outside. If Sims should have read that and gone inside of that block.
At the 9-yard line. 2nd down and 21. And I would certainly believe that Bill Parcells has given Sims a little leeway, but told him also to be very careful. A very conservative play there, as well as should be. That is Galbraith. And Galbraith is taken by Randy White, and flags are down.
Carl Nelson was trying to get even. He blocked his man downfield, and then he went down on him helmet first. That's what they call spearing.
Jack Eberling sorting it out. It will be against the Giants. Dexter Clinkscale up there trying to determine what the call is. 1:19 remaining in the first half. And a reminder at halftime, we're going to be talking with Tex Schramm, the president and general manager of the Dallas Cowboys, about a story that broke this week. Here's the call.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 63.
Call is Carl Nelson, but the story we're referring to is a story that broke and spread across the country through the media concerning 5 Dallas Cowboy players with cocaine involvement, allegedly. A bizarre story, if you will, but it did spread across the country, and we're going to get Tex Schramm's feelings on that. We're also going to be having some highlights from today's play, and we'll look forward to tomorrow night's St. Louis-Washington game. Giants all the way back now inside their 5-yard line. They would like to use some time.
Yes, but
the Cowboys have 3 timeouts. The Giants have 2, and the Cowboys will be using theirs.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to get at, Frank. They have done a good job of conserving their timeouts, so the Giants have a major problem here. Long yardage. The Giants do not want to risk a turnover in this case. They don't want to give up 7 points. They're going to try and run as much off the clock as they can, punt the ball, and hope to play good defense. Seppian, the kicker for Dallas, certainly is not having a hot streak. He's missed 7 out of his last 10.
Well, this one we'll have to have explained. I didn't see a flag. Here's Chuck Eberling.
The unnecessary roughness foul on number 63 was declined. It is now 3rd down.
That goes back to the call a moment ago. They had marked the penalty off, the unnecessary roughness against Carl Nelson, and the Cowboys said that they had misunderstood, so they give it back, and it will now be 3rd down and 20. And we do suspect the Sims will be very careful with this. Trying to get it out where Landeta will have a little bit of kicking room. He goes to George Adams, so Landeta will be kicking from somewhere around the 10-yard line. He has had a big foot. Sean Landeta, here he is, the USFLer, averaging 46 yards a punt, netting over 38 yards. Had a tremendous championship game with the Stars this past season, averaging 53 yards. 1:14 remaining in the first half. Giants letting all the time tick down they can. They'll take it right down to the 1-second clock.
Yeah, but the wrong clock,
Make the snap, the 1-second clock. But the time was out, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Terrific punt. A terrific punt.
Great punt by Sean Landeta. The Giants clearly unaware, at least Sean Landeta was unaware. They snapped the ball when he moves his fingers. The scoreboard clock was stopped, and he was letting the 30-second clock tick down. He did that beautifully, down to 1. It had absolutely no impact.
He had a couple of little coaching points there. George Adams, who caught that 3rd down pass, ran out of bounds. He went to the sideline, and no one said anything to him. A coach should have taken him to the side and said, you shouldn't go out of bounds in that situation. We want Dallas to call a timeout.
As it is, the Cowboys have their full complement of 3 timeouts. They would have been forced to use one had Adams stayed in bounds. And the Cowboys have the ball at their own 32-yard line. They have a 14-6 lead. They have been dominating offensively here in the first half, and particularly in the second quarter. They scored first after Joe Morris fumbled, an 18-yard touchdown pass from this man, Danny White, to Tony Hill. This is Tony Hill again, and off his fingertips, he was running stride for stride with Ted Watts.
That pass could not have been thrown any better than that.
Ted Watts running with Tony Hill, of course, was a starter until Mike Haynes came to the Raiders a couple of years ago. There he is, out of Texas Tech, and a former first-round draft pick of the Raiders. Mike Haynes, of course, took over that spot. The Raiders have been working Watts pre-season at the safety spot, and that's where the Giants have been using him, while Kenny Hill was getting over an ankle injury. Kenny Hill came back tonight. Ted Watts has gone back to the corner. Second down and 10. White steps back into the pocket, fires a shot, complete to Renfro, who's having a big night. Renfro all the way into Giant territory. He'll step out of bounds at the 45-yard line. 52 seconds remaining here in the first half, and first down Dallas. Ali Haji Sheikh. And he has a pulled hamstring. He's on injured reserve. Pulled that hamstring up in the Green Bay game a couple of weeks ago. And he has really impacted on the Giants offense. As I mentioned earlier, anytime you get within 60 yards, Ali Haji Sheikh is a threat. Cowboys first and 10 near the Giants 45-yard line. That's the time remaining in the first half. Full blitz. Danny White reads it beautifully. Tony Hill does likewise. First down, Cowboys near the 33-yard line of the Giants. Hurry up offense for the Cowboys.
Well, they have 3 left. I don't know why they don't use one.
The shotgun. Yes. Coming down with the football is Dorsett, who has worked well out of the backfield tonight as a receiver. He has another Cowboy first down, stopping the clock with 28 seconds.
Now, we don't think of Tony Dorsett as being a receiver. Normally, he'll take him out of the game, but he has about 300 receptions in his career at Dallas. Does an excellent job of grabbing that ball.
That time he ran away from Byron Hunt. If you were with us a little earlier, he did the same thing to Lawrence Taylor earlier. Hard to work a linebacker on somebody like Tony Dorsett. He moves so quickly. Giants ended tonight, led the league, their opponents averaging only 228 yards a game, and Dallas is already over that. We're still in the first half. White will be sacked back at the 35-yard line. Another big play by the Giants defense. That was Leonard Marshall, who through 4 games led the NFL in sacks. That's his 8th sack. He is listed officially with 8.5 sacks. And this time the Cowboys will call timeout. They have 2 remaining, 24 seconds remaining in the first half.
Competition is what makes American business go. Competition is what makes American business excel. Competition is what gives meaning to success. Competition is what drives Hilton to be America's business address.
Big sack for the Giants, Leonard Marshall. The Cowboys back now to the Giants' 33-yard line. They have a second down and 20. And I'm sure on the sideline, Raphael Septien is beginning to feel the butterflies. He's been around a long time, but nothing has ever happened to him as it did last week when he missed 4 field goals against Houston. There's Septien. I talked to him before tonight's game. He said, I don't know what it was. He's missed 3 in a given game on 2 occasions, but never 4. Second down and 20. Cowboys have the football and the lead over the Giants, 14-6. They have a second down and 20. White under pressure again. This time he gets away from it. And this one almost picked off. Ted Watts had it in his hands. Mike Renfro was knocked out of bounds. He would not have been eligible for that ball in any event. and Ted Watts missed the interception in the end zone. It'll be 3rd down and 20.
It's the second time today that I thought Danny could have ran the ball. I think if he would have run it on that play, he would have certainly helped Septien as we look at the end of this play.
That is Renfro sprawling there on the sidelines. He was taken out of bounds. He would not have been able to come back.
He made a good defensive play that time. The
3rd down and 20. Renfro split up to the top of the screen. Tony Hill is split right. Cosby does not hold on. Good play. That was Herb Welch, a rookie from UCLA. Terry Kennard defensively, but Welch colliding with Cosby, and a flag is down, but it appears to be against the Cowboys. This will be an interesting decision. If this is a holding call, that definitely would take them out of Septien's range. And if they decide not to, that would, of course, the down would remain the same at 3rd down and 30. And the Cowboys would have another opportunity. They can just about take away the field goal if they take the penalty.
It'll be a 50-yarder if he tries it from here.
Well, he has hit from over 50 yards several times. Septien has.
Holding, offense, number 66, 3rd down.
Holding is against Chris Schultz, who has replaced an injured Phil Pozderac. There he is, Schultz, second-year man from Arizona. I think that's a good call because Septien, nothing was wrong with him a week ago. He is one of the most consistent field goal kickers in all of football and very accurate even from 50 yards. Cowboys use another timeout. They are down to 1. 10 seconds remaining in the first half. And while Danny White and Tom Landry huddle, we'll remind you once again, we'll be in the nation's capital tomorrow night. Washington Redskins will try and get something happening. The St. Louis Cardinals already have. Boy, do they have some offensive talent. And E.J. Jr. having another superb year at middle linebacker. They have a youngster from Mississippi, first-round draft pick out of the linebacker position, Dunn, who has really helped them. They needed was just a little more defense. They are one of the most explosive offensive teams in all of football, these Cardinals. And what can you say about the Redskins? They have been there for 4 years now, and all of a sudden they are struggling. They are 1-3. Nobody seems to have a handle on why.
Well, turnovers for one thing, Frank, seems to be a problem with Washington. They're a much better football team than that 1-3 record, and we still have a long way to go in this season. Don't count the Redskins out yet.
Now, when Joe Gibbs came in, was it 4 years ago? He lost his first 5 games. Then they made a dramatic turnaround. A couple of Super Bowls later. We'll be there tomorrow night. 3rd down and 30. Danny White, down he goes. Ball is loose. Lawrence Taylor was in on the sack. His 4th of the season. There's still 6 seconds on the scoreboard clock.
Well, I don't know why the Giants would want to call timeout here. If I was the Dallas Cowboys, I would go back. I'd throw the long bomb, send 5 people downfield. By the time the 6 seconds are used up, the half is over. They have a chance to get an interference call, and they have a chance to get a touchdown.
Excellent.
Don't punt the football now.
Excellent point. You get a defensive foul. A half cannot end on a defensive foul. If a pass interference would be called down in Giant territory, the Cowboys could bring out the field goal unit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Giants did call that timeout, and that could be a major mistake.
And Danny White stays in. Naturally, he will, and you will see the Danny White buying maybe a couple of seconds of time and then just putting the ball in the air. Time will expire while the ball is in the air. They will be looking for either the reception or the defensive foul. And there he is.
That's the move. I saw Andy Hayden, number 54, turn to an official right when that last play ended and signal timeout. That's 3 little things that has happened right here before the half. Little coaching points that thus far hasn't hurt the Giants, but could have in a big ball game.
Cowboys have dominated offensively. Nevertheless, the Giants are about to get out of this half. Only 8 points down. 6 seconds remaining. Got the 3 wide receivers, bottom of your screen. They'll just hang it up there high, looking for the defensive foul. Giants will be very careful. Time has expired, and it's Patterson coming down with the interception, and that is the end of the first half. Cowboys leading the Giants 14-6. The 2 teams, the Giants and the Cowboys, tied with the Cardinals as the leaders in the NFC East at 3-1 records. We'll be back with our halftime activity after this from our stations.
Monday, missing in action. Missing bodies.
You're alive.
Missing millions.
This is a riddle?
Don't miss. Hardcastle and McCormick.
Believe me, Lieutenant, if it was up to me, I would have watched this whole thing on the news.
You'll love it.
Tomorrow.
Good evening, I'm Jim Barry. In the news tonight, angry depositors of Maryland's Troubled Savings and Loans say they are fed up with the freeze on their accounts. They met today to demand some action. Andy Field will have a report. In a rare weekend session today, the Senate defied President Reagan and refused to halt debate on a balanced budget proposal for 1991. It'll be back in session tomorrow. A no-smoking controversy is heating up in Fairfax County. We'll have details. Up in New York, a Canadian man has done what only 7 others have managed to accomplish. And for everyone, except the police, it was a barrel of fun. There was another happy scene today. Number 46 of the New York Yankees pitched his way into the record books by reaching a milestone for Phil Niekro, victory number 300. Meantime, the Washington Redskins are planning strategy tonight, trying to figure out how they'll bounce back tomorrow against the Cardinals. Kevin Kiley will have more, and Alan Eustace says, get ready for the big chill. Details after the football game.
My lesson is a man of few words. So when he said, phone bill's too high, I called C&P for the answers on local service options. Besides unlimited service, they have what they call message rate service, where you get so many calls for one basic fee. Then there's economy, it's your smallest fee, and you only pay for as many calls as you make. In other words,
the less you talk, the less it costs.
To see what your options are, call for the Answers Guide, free from C&P. We want you to get your money's worth, and we prove it every day.
Old-fashioned love and romance, Monday at 4.
Saturday, it's a battle of the undefeated as national powers clash on CFA college football. Joe Paterno teams know how to win. He's got the 7th-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions growling again as they're off to a roaring 4-0 start. They'll square off against head coach Ray Perkins' 8th-ranked squad from Alabama. With quarterback Mike Shula at the helm, the Crimson Tide is on a roll. Coverage begins with college football today, live at 3 Eastern on ABC Sports.
We're back at Giant Stadium. The score at halftime, the Dallas Cowboys leading the New York Giants 14-6. Tonight's halftime is being brought to you by Computerland with over 800 stores worldwide. Lots of action around the National Football League today, some of it late. We're going to go to our New York studios for some of the highlights of today's play. Here's Al Trotwig.
The Pittsburgh Steelers woke up this morning knowing they had never beaten Miami in the Orange Bowl. They will go to sleep tonight with the same thought. 1:56 remaining in the first half. Dan Marino pierces the Steeler defense with this pass to Dan Johnson. 14-10 Miami. On Pittsburgh's next possession, a costly Dolphin penalty. Mark Malone searching for Lewis Lips. If Malone couldn't see him, it was because John Swain shoved him out of the way. The ball was placed at the 1, and to gain that 3 feet on the ground, Malone used the 6 feet 6 inches of Ouija Thompson in the air. The Steelers led by 3 at the half. Dan Marino had a less than Marino day. Pittsburgh's top-rated pass defense intercepted him 3 times. This Robin Cole pickoff led to a Steeler field goal and a 20-17 lead. But Dan regrouped and magnificently led the Dolphins 70 yards in the final 2 minutes. Lorenzo Hampton scores his first NFL touchdown with only 47 seconds left. The Dolphins are winners. There was controversy at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. As we learned, an interception can be a terrible idea. Third quarter, Jets lead the Bengals 17-13. This spiral off the fingertips of Ken O'Brien is picked off by Lewis Breeden. At first, the Bengals cheered, and then they roared as the Jets were awarded a safety. The Bengals argued momentum carried Breeden forward. The replay shows Breeden making the steal at the 7-yard line. While in a situation like this, the NFL rulebook only allows momentum to carry you into the end zone if you make the catch from inside the 5. With the score 19-13 following the safety, the Bengals were forced to kick the ball back to the Jets, and Kirk Springs rubbed 58 yards of run-back salt into their wounds. Moments later, quickly maturing quarterback Ken O'Brien found Mickey Schuler from the 6 to take what seemed to be a great defensive play by Cincinnati and turn it into a 26-13 New York lead and a 29-20 Jet victory. So the current powers of the AFC East, the Jets and Dolphins, both winners of 4 straight, now meet a week from tomorrow night on ABC's Monday Night Football. It was sack time today at the Los Angeles Coliseum as the LA Raiders reached Bill Kenny 6 times in the backfield, half of them by Howie Long. Meanwhile, Mark Wilson, playing on a bad ankle, gave the Raiders a 7-3 second quarter lead. This 9-yard touchdown winding up in the hands of Jim Smith. In the third quarter, Bill Kenny made it close, lofting this one to Anthony Hancock. A 41-yard success that made it 13-10, but that's as close as KC would get. With those being the only touchdowns scored in the game, the difference soon became Chris Barr, successful 4 times. Back to the game, 1:20 remaining. Bill Kenny trailing by 6, trying one last charge. But Van McElroy's interception stops him and the Chiefs cold. Chris Barr's final field goal gave LA the 19-10 win and created a 4-way tie in the AFC West. In baseball, the final day was a memorable one for 46-year-old Yankee Phil Niekro, who warmed the hearts of everyone on this crisp autumn Sunday in Toronto. Win number 300 and the honor of being the oldest man to ever pitch a shutout. Phil Niekro poking Father Time right in the eye.
Think of it. A computer store that understands that not everybody understands.
We have classes on that.
A store that helps the first-time customer make the best choice. That loves to show and demonstrate.
See? That's all you do.
But is content to hear you say,
"Thanks, just looking."
Sure, it'd be hard to name a store like that. Except they took care of it almost a decade ago. Computerland, the one thing to know about computers.
Wednesday. I like women who wear fine clothes. Nick's undercover to uncover a computer dating ripoff team.
When this maggot has got to fall, he's got to fall hard.
Let's strip him up. And when the trap's set, the bait's hot.
Sure, you've got the wrong address. Roaches don't go by no address. I come to your emotional rescue. You don't think I'm enjoying this, do you? Who are you kidding?
The Insiders at 8/7 Central.
It's like fun to me.
You'll love it.
Wednesday.
A couple of hot guys you won't want to miss it. The Insiders, you'll see it on Wednesday. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, and during this past week, a story has surfaced that alleged that 5 current and former Dallas Cowboys fixed football games in exchange for cocaine. A sleazy scenario, if you will, but one that spread across the country. And a subsequent story identified the players as Tony Dorsett, Tony Hill, Butch Johnson, Ron Springs, and Danny White. The allegations came from a former FBI agent who has since pleaded guilty to federal charges of bribery, conspiracy, and possession of cocaine with intent to distribute. He picked up what he called information from 2 drug users, drug dealers in Dallas, charging the Dallas Cowboy players had indeed fixed games for cocaine. The FBI report on the matter was sent to the Bureau's Dallas office early in 1982, but the FBI declined to pursue the investigation on the basis of insubstantial information. It really is kind of a weird story, but nevertheless it has circulated throughout the entire country, and we'd like to think that you would like to hear what Tex Schramm, the president and general manager of the Dallas Cowboys, has to say about the matter. We talked with Tex Schramm earlier today. Here is his response.
Well, the unfortunate thing about that type of a story is that it is first accompanied by big headlines and distributed all over the country. And when you use the words point shaving or drugs, that's what's going to be in the headline. And a week later, when everybody just about agrees that the story was totally baseless, then these players whose names were used, that's still in the back of people's minds. And I think that it's totally unfair, and I think Tony Dorsett kind of put it in the proper perspective when he says, I wish something bad would happen in Dallas one time where they didn't try to associate me with it. And I think it was pertinent because Tony Dorsett this very week is preparing to try to become the 6th player in the history of the National Football League to gain 10,000 yards, which is a great accomplishment. And it was totally lost in a fallacious story.
The enemy, potholes. When pavement cracks, it can tear your tires to shreds. Now consider Vector, Goodyear's unique all-season radial. Its crisscross tread has a backbone of belted steel to help repel road hazards and deliver thousands of miles of sure-footed performance. the Goodyear Vector. It simply performs like no other tire in the world.
Tuesday, Tony and Angela pretend they're married.
Suppose you're gonna try to kiss me again.
You wish. Who's the boss? Then on Growing Pains, jealousy hits.
He looks at you as if you were a woman.
I am a woman.
So you admit it.
You'll love it.
Tuesday.
We're back at halftime. Giants Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. The Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants on top of the NFC Eastern Division, along with the St. Louis Cardinals at 3-1. That's the score, 14-6. And tomorrow night we'll be in the nation's capital. A quick trip, if you will, tonight to watch the St. Louis Cardinals go against the Washington Redskins. And well, we're looking at Phil Simms, who passed for 4,000 yards a year ago and struggling a little bit tonight. Danny White isn't, however, but it was Neil Lomax who passed for over 4,000 yards a year ago, throwing for more yards than anyone has ever thrown for, with the exception of Dan Fouts and Dan Marino. He has got a great receiver to Roy Green to go to. He has O.J. Anderson. A lot of offense there, Joe.
I was just going to say he has more than just receivers. You mentioned O.J. Anderson, and they do have the wide-open passing attack. They're not the kind of team that drop a lot of short passes to the backs. He likes to go downfield, and justifiably with Roy Green.
The Redskins, you know, I mentioned it earlier. I think no one seems to have been able to get a handle on it, but at 1-3, and in this division, a really tough division, if they don't get something happening, they could be in deep trouble even this early in the season.
Well, obviously one player, someone has to step forward and lead the way for them. I've always been an exponent that you don't rotate your backs. I know John Riggins has done a super job for that team over the years, but I think they have to make a decision if it's Riggins or if it's Rodgers. When you're on the sideline and you know the heat is on you, I think you play differently. So I think they got to make a decision there, and that may be the case in some other positions on that team.
Of course, Joe Theismann has been the leader of that football team. There's no question about that. The quarterback, by the nature of the job, is the leader. Joe, how do you get out of a situation like that? I heard Bobby Beathard say today, if everyone was trying as hard as Joe Theismann on this team, we wouldn't have any problems. But, of course, quarterback gets all the credit. They get all the blame.
They get a lot of the blame. And I talked with Joe last week already, and Joe says it's really a matter of too many turnovers. They're hurting themselves. They haven't really been beaten by anyone except Washington. Sure, Chicago came back with 45 unanswered points, but why? Because they've had the interceptions and they've had the fumbles. They have to dig in, stop making mistakes. Their offensive line hasn't been doing a great job pass protecting, and their receivers haven't been getting open either. I heard Bill Parcells say that today.
All right, we'll be down there taking a look at the Redskins and the St. Louis Cardinals tomorrow night. All right, now let's go back to the first quarter action here at Giants Stadium. First quarter with Danny White following a Joe Morris fumble, a turnover. And Danny White chased out of the pocket, and he puts a little pressure on the cornerback. He comes up to pursue, and Tony Hill is at the back of the end zone, 18-yard touchdown, and the Cowboys get on the scoreboard first. Tony Hill and Danny White, they've been doing it a lot of years together. And the second touchdown, once again, it was Danny White who had a tremendous first half. And the Giants, quite frankly, were lucky that they got away with the first half with only 14 points. Now, again, a little bit of pressure. He'll spot Mike Renfro, who, again, at the back of the end zone, but he steps in front of the Giant defender, Williams. Touchdown, and so the Dallas Cowboys lead the Giants 14-6. Again, halftime score, Dallas 14, the Giants 6. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. And by Nissan, builders of technologically advanced cars and trucks for over 50 years. And by Visa, accepted worldwide for shopping, dining, and travel. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And we'll be back with second half action from Giants Stadium in just a moment.
Tuesday, Dave and Maddie head to Buenos Aires for a crack at the big money.
How do you know you won't lose?
Hey, lady, does Felt Field do dice dying? Trust me, I got a system.
But they're going for broke.
He doesn't think I understand bluffing.
Moonlighting, the perfect romantic comedy.
You'll love it!
The Oakland Tribune says it has strong characters, plus an intelligent storyline. Totally convincing performances, says the New York Daily News. Our family honor.
Tuesday.
An ABC News Brief brought to you by Quaker. Now from Washington, Tom Gerald.
Good evening. An 11th hour plea from President Reagan failed to convince the Senate today to end a filibuster, blocking passage of a bill to raise the debt ceiling. Without the measure, the government will run out of money to operate on Monday. The sticking point is a White House-backed amendment to balance the budget. In London, inner-city street fighting erupted for the second time in 8 days, and for the first time, rioting youths fired shotguns. One police officer was stabbed to death. Now this.
Dip, 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 granola, dip, 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 granola, dip, dip, dips, chocolate. control granola dips, dip, dip.
Granola dips from Quaker. In California, at least 8 people are dead and another 30 injured in a highway collision involving up to 10 vehicles. Sacramento police say motorists were blinded by smoke from a brush fire. More later on the Weekend Report.
I really love my Corvette, but you know, if I only had one thing to drive, it would be a truck. Look at this line. Sport Chevrolet sells everything that Chevy makes. And, Mac, let me borrow that camera just a second. Oops. Just wanted to show you the variety at Sport Chevrolet. Anything you want. And trucks are a whole separate department at Sport. They even know trucks better than I do. You know, if I sold trucks for a living, I'd sure want to do it just like Sport Chevrolet does it.
We were ready for the future needs of business communications. Awesomely fast, yet extremely flexible digital capability. At Bell Atlantic, we have a network already in place with the latest in technology, with thousands of miles of fiber optic cabling, and one thing more, the genius to manage it, to make digital data transport an affordable reality. Whatever the size of your business, the companies at Bell Atlantic, we make technology work for you.
On your side with the Weekend Report.
Giant Stadium, second half action set to go. Jess Atkinson will kick off. Levette is back, number 29, the rookie from Georgia Tech, with John Williams. Levette, number 29, John Williams, number 38. Danny White is such a hot hand. He is over 223 yards already, with a 20 of 27 completion average, not bad. A couple of touchdowns and the one interception. Short kick, and Levette will take it at the 13-yard line. Out of the 25 to the 28-yard line goes Levette. And Danny White will come back out, and the hot receiver tonight has been Mike Renfro, even though the scoring got underway with an 18-yard touchdown pass from White to Tony Hill. Renfro with his first 100-yard reception of his career in a game. That goes back a long ways to Houston days, where he played for 6 years. But he has 100 yards here in the first half on 8 receptions. Also has the 1 touchdown. We saw him get 99 yards against Washington in our season opener. Big night for Mike Renfro. Dorsett. Down goes Dorsett. That was Jim Burt, the nose tackle, with a good defensive play. It'll be second down and 10. Jim Burt, fine nose tackle, had struggled through a tough year a year ago with a lot of back problems. Had a couple of years of it. He's healthy once again, and he really does a job in there in the middle. A typical nose tackle. He's 6'1", 260 pounds. He just made a play on Dorsett that puts the Cowboys into a second down and 10. Renfro is split right. Tony Hill, top of your screen. That one's batted away. And the one thing about the sophisticated crowd, if you will, Joe, they know this Giants defense. The one thing it does and has over the past couple of years, they will really wear an offensive unit down. And they grind and they grind and they grind, and then they seem to get stronger as the game goes on. And this Giant crowd, well aware of that. They trail 14-6, opening moments of the third quarter. Third down and 11. From the shotgun. Danny White, wide open. It's Tony Hill, and he was overthrown. Missed coverage over there. Ted Watts turned the zone over. Herb Welch, the rookie from UCLA, made a wild sprint to get into the coverage he should have been in, but Tony Hill was wide open for a moment. He just missed him, Joe.
Well, the Giants did something on that play that they didn't do much of in the first half. They had a little pressure on Mr. White. Threw it a little too soon.
Without a blitz, too. McConkey is back. Saxon, second only to Sean Landeta of the Giants in punting in the National Football Conference. Healthy respect on the part of McConkey. He's back all the way to his 25-yard line. This one will not turn over, however. And McConkey at the 37. And the Giants, relatively good field position. They'll be near their own 38-yard line. And their offensive unit of the Giants will be greeted with a partisan ovation. Out comes Phil Simms, 9 of 16 in the first half, 162 yards. Setbacks will open the second half. Carpenter, 26. Morris, number 20. Wide receivers, Johnson, 88. Manuel, number 86. And the rookie from Notre Dame goes to the bench as we see Don Hasselbeck at tight end. Here comes Morris. And Morris hurls at 5'7" and 190 pounds out over the 45-yard line for a gain of 8. Dexter Clinkscale made the stop, but he paid for it.
I don't know what Bill Parcells told his team at halftime, but this team is really pumped up. You can tell the way they go in and out of the huddle that they're ready to play, and the defense held them on 3 and out. And here's the offense moving right away.
Quick look at Bill Parcells, now in his 3rd year. That's Carpenter. He'll have the first down. He's close to midfield. He's the veteran, of course, acquired from Houston in the season of '81, who helped the Giants to their first playoffs since 1963. They lost to the 49ers in that '81 season, but a great season for Carpenter when he arrived. He had 822 yards in 10 regular season games and over 200 yards in the playoffs that year. He's still bothered, however, with a sore knee. Sims, a lot of time. Williams, no. Goodbye. Manuel into the end zone. Sims, credit an offensive line with giving Sims the time. 51-yard touchdown.
This team is pumped up.
He's the big play man for the Giants, averaging over 21 yards of reception into the night. This one goes for 51. Running away from Everson Walls. Tackle was missed. Michael Downs could not catch him, and Manuel goes in from 51 yards out. Atkinson for the conversion. This to bring the Giants to within 1. No. It hit the crossbar. So the Giants trail 14-12. There he is. Lionel Manuel in the 2nd year out of Pacific. 100 yards on the night. 4 receptions.
Roger, I just drove a fantastic car, the Nissan Maxima. One test drive sold me on the spot. You know I know cars, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Maxima really impressed me.
Right.
It's got a 3-liter fuel-injected V6, 4-wheel independent suspension, adjustable shocks. The Maxima's loaded with technology.
Nissan Maxima, huh?
Oh, it's not for you, Roger. Doesn't cost enough.
When the objective is performance, the name is Nissan.
If you just ask for a light beer,
give me a light.
You never know what you'll get.
What I wanted. Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, ask for Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
We have been fascinated from the beginning. As a machine, the human body remains a supreme invention. To unlock its potential, we offer Soloflex. Simple and efficient, like the body itself. Which may explain why Soloflex looks less like a machine and more like a work of art.
Saturday, undefeated college powers collide when 7th-ranked Penn State runs into number 8 Alabama. Coverage begins with College Football Today, Saturday on ABC.
We're back at Giant Stadium. The Giants trailing now 14-12, deep for the Cowboys. Robert Levette and John Williams. Atkinson set to kick once again. This will be Levette from the 10-yard line. And Levette stays on his feet. He's out of the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Dallas. Here's Joe.
Individual effort, that's what it takes a lot of time in this football game, and the offensive line of the New York Giants had it the last time. They gave Phil Simms enough time to find Manuel, and Manuel simply adds more individual effort to this by breaking a couple of tackles. You could call it poor tackling, but I prefer to call it good running.
Lionel Manuel, 51 yards out. Cowboys first down at 10. The ball at their own 35-yard line. Crowd getting into it once again. White with a lot of time. Underneath to Cosby. Cosby tripped up from behind. He'll get 8 out of it. Tripped up by Harry Carson. It'll be second down and 2. Harry Carson, another Pro Bowler. Danny White looks to the sideline, skipped the play. That's set in. Second down, long 2. You can see number 57 in there, linebacker for the Giants. He's in there because Carl Banks has a sprained knee and probably will not be back. That was Tony Dorsett getting the first down out to the 47-yard line. We're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves. Back at Giants Stadium, a rivalry that's been going on for a quarter of a century, the Cowboys and the Giants. Cowboys have dominated it for a couple of decades. The Giants won 2 a year ago. The Cowboys were out of the playoffs a year ago. Cowboys leading the Giants in the third quarter, 14-12. They scored first, pass to Tony Hill. They scored with a shot from Danny White to Renfro. The Giants hung in there. Phil Simms has just hit Lionel Manuel with a 51-yard touchdown pass. That's the situation at the moment here in the third quarter. Tony Dorsett on first down inside the 50-yard line into Giant territory. A gain of 6. It'll be second and 4 as Harry Carson made the stop. And for those of you who might just be joining us, let's take a look at the scoring summary. Again, that 18-yard touchdown pass I referred to a moment ago from Danny White. Atkinson hit a 23-yard field goal for the Giants. Renfro, an 8-yard touchdown pass from White. That made it 14-3. Second quarter, 37-yard field goal again by the Giants. And then Manuel from Simms, 51 yards out. 14-12, the Cowboys lead. They have a second down and 4 inside the Giants' 49-yard line. Tripped up is Dorsett. A loss of a couple to midfield.
That was an interesting play. What they were trying to do on that play is have Doug Cosby, the tight end, number 84, his job was to come down and trap the nose man, that Burt that you saw there, but Burt was just a little too quick and got a little too much penetration for it.
We spoke about him a moment ago, O.J. He was hurting all last year and even the year before that, and now he's healthy. He is really quick. He can work from tackle to tackle just about as well as any nose tackle around. There's a loss of a couple. It's third down and 6. Shotgun for Danny White. Picked off. That's Elvis Patterson. He, of course, intercepted the pass last week. Helped beat Philadelphia in overtime. Took it in for a touchdown. And they're learning to love Elvis Patterson. That's his third interception. Third interception.
Well, you wonder why a quarterback throws a pass like this. There's not a receiver there. He throws it right to Elvis. I have to believe that Danny simply didn't see him. There's no other reason for it.
A lot of tall people in front of him. Joe Morris. This is how the Giants opened the drive a moment ago. A flag goes down as Morris gets a couple of yards. And Jones pursuing that made the stop on Morris, but again a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. But it was thrown by the back judge. It would be an illegal use of hands against the Giants. Elvis Patterson, he is a fine athlete, basically a rookie in his. There is a call against the Giants, but he missed the first year as a rookie, so he really is a rookie working out there in place of Marcus Haynes. Here's a touchdown to put the Giants within 2 a few moments ago. This is Lionel Manuel. And Everson Walls missing the tackle, and Manuel takes it in for 6. That brought it to 14-12, 9:57 remaining in the third quarter. And Ed marched off against the Giants. It'll be first down and 20. Joe Morris, single setback. Simms, wide open is Johnson. Johnson inside the Cowboys 30-yard line. First down, Giants.
Well, the Cowboys are going to have to put more pressure on Phil here. If you give Sims this much time, he'll pick you apart.
Well, you talk about pressure on Phil Sims. One of the reasons they may not be getting it is Ed Too Tall Jones has taken himself out of the game. He seemed to have a problem with his neck.
Kevin Brooks, the rookie from Michigan, is in there at number 99. They work on Jones on the sideline. First down and 10. The ball inside the 30. Here comes the blitz, and this is Joe Morris. Joe Morris just carrying Randy White, and that's a tough load to handle, but he carries him for a few yards. He'll get 7 out of that. Good effort by Joe Morris. Giants really did come out stoked up here in the second half. O.J. mentioned it right at the top of the action, and it's continued that way. And the crowd is helping. They are really into this. Second down, 3. Ball at the Cowboys, 22-yard line. Carpenter struggles for first down yardage. Down close to the 18-yard line.
And they went directly toward the Ed Jones area. Too Tall Jones is not in the game. Well, now he's back in the game.
Just came back in.
And they're taking Kevin Brooks out, but I like that call. When you come in with the backup player, go ahead and run the ball at him.
They marked it just inside the 18-yard line. Carpenter, Adams are the setbacks. Manuel, Johnson, the wide receivers. Hasselbeck is the big tight end. First and 10. Sims fires a shot as Hasselbeck. And Hasselbeck struggles down close to the 6-yard line. This was a man who has been around a little bit. Played up in New England, went out with the Raiders. He was here with the Giants earlier this year. They cut him. Then when they lost Zeke Mowatt to an injury in preseason, they brought him back. He's just made a first down for the Giants, and now the flag is down. They'll bring it back.
Well, I hope they remember this play because he was so wide open. Had he been able to keep his feet, it have scored.
Holding offense number 65. First down. Bart Oates, the center. And a lot of holding calls in the middle of the line when Randy White was prowling around in there. So a first down at the 6-yard line is negated with that holding call. It'll be first down at 20 out of the 22. Carpenter struggling ahead to about the 24-yard line. Gain of 4. It'll be second down and 15.
I'm really surprised we haven't seen more of George Adams or Maurice Carson tonight. Carpenter hasn't been playing lately. I would have figured the other two guys would be in the game.
Time ticking away, midway through the third quarter. Cowboys leading the Giants 14-12. Both teams 9-7 a year ago. Giants going to the playoffs in the tie-breaking procedure. As you can see, the Giants have called timeout. Bill Sims wanted to talk it over with head coach Bill Parcells. We'll be back in a moment.
What chance does a free agent have of becoming a rookie All-Pro?
Absolutely zero chance.
The Achievers, those who face adversity and refuse to fail, brought to you by the U.S. Army.
You don't get many breaks in the NFL or in anything you do.
One training camp mistake and your career can be over.
Hell, it's professional football. The guy beat you chase him.
Everson Walls survived that one mistake and became an All-Pro cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys.
I'll tell you one thing, and I've said it before, you have to believe that you can do it.
It's a big step, Tom.
I'm still gonna go to college, Dad, but after the Army.
I thought you wanted to be an electrical engineer.
I'll be learning about electronics, and I can qualify for the new GI Bill and new Army College Fund.
If you qualify, the new GI Bill and new Army College Fund can help you save over $25,000 for tuition.
So you're gonna be a soldier?
Be all that you can be. And an engineer. Find your future.
Be a good one.
In the Army.
Presenting the Honda 4Trax.
4-Tracks. Only from Honda.
Third quarter from Giants Stadium, 7:04 remaining in the third quarter, and the Giants trailing the Dallas Cowboys 14-12. Phil Simms back in the huddle. Giants looking at a second down and 15. Simms, 11 of 18, 242 yards. Danny White also having a great night for the Cowboys. Cowboys moving the ball up and down the field in the first half, but they could only manage 14 points, and the Giants were right in it. Second and 15. That was Adams, and Randy White reading it all the way, makes the stop. A gain of maybe a yard. It'll be third down, 14. Not an enviable position against this defense. Here's Randy White in isolation.
He's a great player when someone's trying to block him, but when no one is blocking him at all, well, you see what happens. They didn't have a man assigned to him that time.
Oh, well, that looked funny in the movies on Tuesday. Third down, 15. Johnson goes to the right. Out to the left is Manuel. McConkey's also in there. From the shotgun, a little rolling pocket. By time for Simms. And he holds on in the end zone. Lionel Manuel once again. Great concentration. A few moments ago, he caught a 51-yard touchdown. This is 23, and the Giants are on top. Mentioned at the start of the telecast, this is the receiver they really are so high on with the Giants. Not blazing speed, but great cuts and great concentration, and this is a great example of it. Good poise by Simms once again. A little floating pocket to buy time for Simms, and great concentration by Manuel.
Sometimes you get a good bounce in this game, and Manuel just got a good bounce. That ball was tipped before it got to him.
Atkinson missed the conversion a few moments ago. This time he splits the uprights. And here he is, second year out of Pacific. Not all that fast, but makes the good moves. And great concentration, taking that tip ball for the touchdown.
My daughter calls it the Blue Bomber. My wife thinks I ought to get rid of it. And when it needed a new muffler, well, I was afraid she might be right. Listen, I don't want to spend too much on this car. Midas had a muffler that was perfect for my budget. Now the old Blue Bomber sounds almost as good as new. And heck, she doesn't look that bad.
Trust the Midas touch.
At a sticker price of $59.99, this Nissan lists for $1 more than our leading competitor's standard truck. But look what you get for your buck. A bigger engine, bigger payload, a 5-speed, steel-belted radials, welded double-wall bed, all for $59.99. Nissan, it's a lot more truck for $1.
The Nissan regular bed, same sticker price as last year. The value is standard. The name is Nissan.
If you take the Somerset Road all the way out to Mangrove Bay, you'll find a very special place. Captain John's Boat Yard, one of the only places in Bermuda you can rent a boat and a motor and spend the day out over the coral looking for fish, or out on the flats just looking. But remember 2 things. Bring some sandwiches and your Visa card, because Captain John doesn't sell food and he doesn't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
The Boston Herald calls it engrossing new drama, Our Family Honor, Tuesday.
Lionel Manuel has 123 yards on 5 receptions, and what great concentration a moment ago. That ball was tipped by Dexter Clinkscale, and Manuel kept his eyes on it, was able to handle it for a 23-yard touchdown. Atkinson to kick away. Robert Levitt from the 10-yard line. This Giant team came out fired up from halftime, and now there has been some heavy hitting going on. Let's take a look at the replay. You'll see that Simms had a lot of poise, a lot of pressure. He delivers it. Clinkscale right here will tip it. That's Clinkscale, who had really put down Phil Simms during the week. As you can see, Manuel with great concentration holds on, but said some really rather unkind things about Phil Simms this past week in a press conference earlier in the week. And a lot of other things. Clinkscale saying that he couldn't understand why the Giants couldn't understand why the Dallas Cowboys were America's team. Dallas first down and 10. Ball at the 25-yard line. Danny White, who's having a big night, gets it off to Cornwell. And Cornwell has first down yardage out to the 40-yard line. Gary Reasons defensively there for the Giants.
It's no secret why the Giants are pumped up this half. In the first half, Dallas went up and down the football field. They should be up by 3 or 4 touchdowns. Giants go in the locker room. They say, hey, we're only down by 8 points.
That's right. The offense of the Giants knew that they weren't getting the job done, and they really came out pumped up. Meantime, turnovers play a major part in these football games. Danny White's now throwing 3 interceptions. He's only had 4 for the first 4 games coming into this game.
He's also thrown for over 245 yards, a couple of touchdowns. It's been an aerial game tonight. Both quarterbacks having big nights. This is John Williams. That one designed to get inside. Williams looked outside. A couple of stutter steps, and he'll pick up 3 out of it.
You know, we mentioned that Phil Simms liked to go downtown with his passes. His completion average is well over 20 yards per completion at this point.
It'll be second down and 6 as they mark the ball out over the 43-yard line. Less than 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Hill up at the top of your screen. Renfro split to the right. Danny White will go up top again. And it's Tony Hill. The blitz was on. Individual coverage, and Hill working against Perry Williams will get a Dallas first down inside the 45-yard line of the Giants. Good collaboration here between Hill and quarterback Danny White. Giants in a blitz situation. It gave Tony Hill a man-for-man position on Perry Williams, both of them reading it, and they get the first down at the Giants 45. Carl Poe, the rookie from Alabama State, in a wide receiver now for the Cowboys. He wears number 81. A lot of speed. Danny White, he's going to try to get it to Poe. And is picked off. That's Terry Kennard. Danny White's 4th interception. A lot of running room for Kennard. He stays on his feet out to the 30-yard line, and now listen to this crowd. Terry Kennard could have stayed in the end zone. He elected to bring it out. He had a 27-yard return. The Giants get it back. First and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
Obviously a bad choice by Danny White. The Giants were playing a zone coverage that time. He had very little chance of completing that pass. They were in a 3-deep zone.
Joe Morris, once again, Randy White drags him down from behind. And there's Terry Kennard, a number 1 draft pick 3 years ago out of Clemson. And one of the fine, rapidly developing safeties in this game.
See, Joe, here's why I think there was a controversy between Hogaboom and White, because Gary had such a strong arm, he may have gotten that ball there a lot sooner than Danny. Danny sort of hung it up there.
You're right. If that had been a good pass longer into the outside, it could have been a touchdown. But it was still a bad read. They had a 3-deep zone.
Terry Kennard making a career out of interceptions against Dallas. 5 of his 7 interceptions of his career against the Cowboys. Second and 10, pressure on Simms. He has time, and this time he just throws it over both Ron Fellows and wide receiver Bobby Johnson. Bill Simms really grew up a year ago. He had been injured for so much of his career, a number 1 draft pick back in 1979. He had missed almost 2.5 years. When he got through a healthy season a year ago, he learned when to throw it away. He learned when to buy the time. And he passed for over 4,000 yards a year ago, the first Giant ever to do that. And look at that tonight, what he's averaging per completion against what he did a year ago, and then what was a great season. It's third down and 10. Full blitz is on. They read it beautifully. This is George Adams. They won't catch him. It was a great read by Simms. And the rookie number 1 draft pick from Kentucky was in perfect harmony with him. 70-yard touchdown.
The man that was to cover Adams thought he was going to get blocked. Adams just slipped out there at the top of the screen. He's wide open. Normally in a safety blitz or an all-out blitz, Adams would stay in and block. The Dallas Cowboys thought he would that time, but he fooled him. He just slipped right out of the backfield and no one was on him.
The youngster's first NFL touchdown. He fumbled in the opening season game against Philadelphia inside the 5. He fumbled last week against Philadelphia inside the 5. He has just vindicated himself in front of 76,000 Giants fans. Atkinson through the uprights. Dallas had it so easy through the first half. They are in deep trouble here in the third quarter.
Every now and then you'll come across a road like this. That's when more than ever you'll want a car. Like this, the Nissan 300ZX Turbo. You flick the adjustable suspension to firm and go for it. With 3 liters worth of fuel-injected muscle under you, it's your road now. And the feeling, like the car, is awesome. For high-performance sports cars like the 300ZX, the name is Nissan.
Ambition. It's the fuel that drives American business. Ambition. It's the energy to go the distance. Ambition. It's the will to win. Ambition. It's the force that makes Hilton America's business address.
Re-experience the mind unbounded. Amiga, the first personal computer that gives you a creative edge.
There he is. He has just gone 70 yards for a touchdown. The #1 draft pick out of Kentucky. Had a great career at Kentucky. Did so many things. Over 4,200 all-purpose yards. Nearly 3,000 yards rushing. He had 83 career receptions, and you just saw him read it beautifully. A full all-out blitz from their 4-0 defense on the part of the Cowboys. Sims and Adams in perfect harmony. Atkinson hits it. This will be Robert Levitt. And Levitt, again, a fine return out to the 35-yard line where the Dallas Cowboys are going to be trying to get their act together. And we're going to remind you, once again, live at 3:30 Eastern from State College, Pennsylvania, this Saturday. CFA college football, unbeaten. National Power is getting it on. It'll be 7th-ranked Penn State. They go against Alabama, both of them undefeated. The coverage will begin at 3:30 Eastern at CFA college football here on ABC.
Roll Tide.
Ray Perkins. And it was Ray Perkins who left here in 1982 that gave Bill Parcells his first head coaching job. He's watching the Giants against the Cowboys tonight as we watch Tony Dorsett. 2-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
If you look to the left side of your screen, you'll see the safeties blitzing. They forgot about our man Adams right here. He's ordinarily going to block one of those 2 men that you saw blitzing, but he just slipped right out of the backfield, and he and Phil, as Frank said, were in perfect harmony.
And if there's a question to be asked is, why would Dallas go into such a do-or-die blitz on 3rd and 10 like that?
They've been doing it all season. I think they probably are remembering the films from Houston. 12 sacks of Warren Moon. The Giants are picking them up tonight on the blitz. 2nd and 7. Dorsett. Down the sidelines go Dorsett. And he's inside the 40. When he turns the corner, it is amazing the acceleration. Cowboy first down inside the 39-yard line of the Giants on a 24-yard Dorsett pickup.
James Jones just did a terrific job in blocking Byron Hunt.
Tony did a nice job of picking his way. I think the play was really designed to go inside more, and Tony just uses what he has more than just about anybody else of speed. If he gets outside and he gets a nice gain out of it.
67 tough yards for Dorsett. We hope you're enjoying this game. Seesaw back and forth. Dorsett now needs 50 yards to reach the magical 10,000. Only six to become the sixth player ever to do it. On first down, Danny White with a lot of time. Tony Hill, no, he didn't get him down, and he knew that he didn't. He will not argue.
Well, the pass looked like it slipped out of Danny's hand a little bit. It was wobbling to the outside, and Tony just couldn't get that right foot down.
Tom Landry on the sidelines gives the play to Gary Hogaboom. He flashes it in. Danny White takes a look at it. There he is. What a remarkable record in his 26th year. 19 consecutive winning seasons, 17 times in the playoffs, 9 times in a row from 75 to 83. 5 Super Bowls, a record 5 Super Bowls with 2 victories. Truly a tremendous career. Second down and 10. That's Jones in motion. White with a perfect shot to Renfro. He's inside the Giants 25 with another Dallas first down.
Joe, what do you do here? Now, here's where the Cowboys' troubles begin. Every time they get inside the 30-yard line, they tend to bog down. So, I mean, what do you do?
Well, I keep doing the things that got him here. Heck, they've been moving the ball. Early in the third quarter here is the only time the Giants have stopped them.
But the first half, every time they got down here, they got nothing out of it.
Well, I'd let Danny scramble around a little bit and buy some more time and find an open receiver.
Renfro with the first down on his 9th reception of the night. That's a career high for Renfro. And 118 yards is a career high for Renfro. Explosive offense here tonight.
Renfro.
Pressure on White. He gets it off.
Yes.
James Jones, or rather Renfro. That flag is down.
So much for your low-scoring game.
Just talking about Renfro, he is rewriting his own personal record book by a wide margin.
Pass interference, defense, number 23. A penalty is being...
That's against Perry Williams. He's trying to stay with Renfro.
Renfro had one-on-one coverage. He got inside of Perry right away, and then he just did a nice job of adjusting to the ball and using his body.
I would say that's interference. The fact that Renfro concentrated on it, held on to the football.
A little right arm motion there.
Danny did a heck of a job getting him the ball. Jim Burt came clean kind of late, nearly got to Danny.
Good football game, back and forth. 2 bitter rivals in the NFC East. Septien for the conversion. We have a 21-26 game with Mike Renfro having a tremendous night. Phil Simms of the Giants having a big night. And, of course, the wide receiver for the Giants, Lionel Manuel, also having a great night. And we hope his father, Ray, is looking on tonight. He used to wear number 26 for the Cleveland Browns years ago. Later coached with the Dallas Cowboys. And this youngster, before growing up and becoming an outstanding receiver with TCU, was a ball boy with the Dallas Cowboys. And we stay in the NFC Eastern Division tomorrow night. The Cardinals are 1-3. The Redskins, or rather, the Cardinals 3-1, and the Redskins are 1-3. And we'll be there. We'll watch Neil Lomax, Roy Green, O.J. Anderson.
Talked to Al Davis a year ago, and Al Davis thought Roy Green was the most valuable player in football. He was the one player he wanted most in the league.
He is really a special one. Started out as a defensive back, played a couple of years as a defensive back and a wide receiver. Septien hits it. This is McConkey. McConkey out over the 30-yard line to the 32, and it looks like his Cowboy team has been fired up a little bit.
Yeah, that was a bad kickoff. You don't want to kick a line drive directly to a return man.
Well, the Giants have, again, good field position out over their 30-yard line. 1:40 remaining in the third quarter, and we have a 5-point difference with the Giants leading 26-21. Dallas really dominated the first half. Much of that yardage coming in the first half on the part of Dallas. The Giants have exploded here in the second half. The last 3 possessions for the Giants have resulted in touchdowns. This drive will begin from their 32. Wide open is Ja, and in and out of the hands.
Well, it was a good read on Phil's part. They played a strong side zone. He had one-on-one over here with Fellows, and he just missed him. It was a good read, a bad pass.
Mike Renfro once again had so many fine years with Houston. The Cowboys got him a year ago. He had 160 receptions, as a matter of fact, in 6 years with Houston. They got him in a trade with Butch Johnson a year ago. Second down and 10. Sims. Manuel does not stay in bounds, working against linebacker Mike Hagman. It'll be third down and 10.
It's going to be interesting now. They're going to that 4-0 defense of Dallas's, 4 down linemen and 7 defensive backs. It's going to be interesting to see just how many of those defensive backs they blitz on this play.
In comes Tony Galbraith. We have talked about him tonight. He has not had a reception, but he's very good working out of the backfield. Giants use him much as the Cowboys used to use Preston Pearson. Sims. And picked off. Dennis Thurman, his 4th interception. He is sort of a coach in that secondary back there, helping out the defensive backfield coach Gene Stallings. And they have come up with a new nickname for this secondary. They call him Thurman's Thieves. And this time Dennis Thurman led by example. Poorly thrown football.
Well, if you look at Phil McConkey, the receiver, the intended receiver here, he'll fall down. He loses his footing, and he leaves Thurman as the intended receiver. You see McConkey fall. And just a bad break for the Giants, a good break for Thurman. Good catch, Thurman, by the way.
And those big linemen flashing in front of the quarterback. He's trying to read between them. He never saw the receiver go down, and he hits Dennis Thurman. And the Cowboys get the turnover at midfield. 1:24 remaining in the third quarter. Cowboys are trailing by 5. Dorsett. Strong, hard running inside the 35 of the Giants. He'll have another Dallas first down. Hope you're enjoying the game. Frank Gifford along with Joe Namath, O.J. Simpson. Seesaw battle back and forth between 2 NFC rivals. Both of them tied for the lead in the NFC East along with the St. Louis Cardinals. Cowboys got the scoring underway with a touchdown pass to Tony Hill. Then they dominated the first half, but they only were able to put up 14 points, and at halftime it was 14-6. The Giants came out 3 consecutive possessions, 3 touchdowns to make it 26-14. Then Danny White hit Mike Renfro with another touchdown to make it to 26-21. The Giants, and that's where we are now. First down and 10. Here's Dorsett again. And Dorsett now running smartly inside the 30 to the 29, pickup of 6.
Give me the ball, give me the ball. Tony, I'm surprised he hasn't broken one yet. He almost broke that last one. Maybe he's getting a little winded. I don't think he's had this much work in a while. Even though he had 159 yards last week, but that was in 23 carries.
I mentioned 2 weeks ago he came out of the Cleveland game, and the diagnosis was a fractured transverse process, a little bone in the back was off one of the vertebrae. He's wearing a heavy pad on his back to protect that. Second down and 4 as the final seconds of the third quarter expire. Tony Hill is wide open. Bobble the ball for a moment. The ball is loose. No. That ball was in offensive possession. It goes out of bounds. Kenny Hill did not have it in his hands. That was a good call.
Yes, it was. Tony was trying to lateral the ball to Doug Cosby. A little panic on Tony's part.
Time has expired in the third quarter. Now look at it again. Tony Hill, I think you're right, O.J., was trying to, he bobbled the ball to begin with. Now he tries to get it to Cosby. Well, I don't know whether he did or not. But in any event, Kenny Hill had to have possession of that ball inbounds, and he was never in possession. So Dallas will retain the football. We'll be back with fourth quarter action in a moment.
Thursday.
Could be a serial killer, Katie.
Since Katie Mahoney joined the force,
I'll push any button I can to get these sickos off the earth permanently.
there are fewer repeat offenders. That's why we call her Lady Blue.
Put that one on my bill.
Thursday.
Good evening, I'm Jim Barry. Hundreds of frustrated Maryland savings and loan depositors who can't get at their money plan to fight back. Andy Field reports. And in sports, New York Yankee pitcher Phil Niekro reaches a milestone. Those stories after the game.
The General XP 2008. It performed in Europe.
It performed like a winner.
On the test track.
Sooner or later.
And the Autobahn.
And it moves.
XP 2000H, the high-performance radial tire from General.
And it moves like like a champion.
The General XP 2000H.
Sooner or later, you're on generals.
Now, U.S. Air offers Washington and Baltimore new low fares to Hartford, Cincinnati, and Indianapolis. Fly to Hartford at new low weekday or weekend prices. Save big with these new fares to Cincinnati. The schedules and airports are convenient, and the fares to Indianapolis are too good to miss. All seats, all flights, no restrictions. U.S. Air to Hartford, Cincinnati, and Indianapolis.
We're U.S. Air. Look at us now.
Action a moment ago, that fumble by Tony Hill. Kenny Hill struggling to get the ball. He has to have it in full possession. You're going to look at it in slow motion. Then we're going to show you at the speed with which the official had to make a decision whether he had possession, and we're going to show it to you right after this play. The Cowboys first down and 10. They begin the fourth quarter. The ball is at the 22-yard line of the Giants. Dorsett. And Dorsett inside the 20-yard line to the 19-yard line. Marshall on the stop. It'll be 2nd and 8. Now we're going to show you this at the speed with which the official had to make the decision. Did Kenny Hill have possession or did he not? It's a little different, isn't it? Just a little different. So sometimes when you're throwing your shoe at your TV set, you figure that zebra didn't have a clue as to what happened. But keep in mind, if you watched it in slow motion, it's a little different than what he has to consider. 2nd down and a long 8. The ball inside the 19-yard line. Danny White, Tony Dorsett. And Dorsett, good open field tackle by Lawrence Taylor, but not until Dorsett had moved down close to the 11-yard line. What appears to be first down yardage for Dallas. Yes, it is. These were the numbers at halftime. And once again, as you can see, Dallas, the dominant team, now will wipe out the first half, move through the third quarter. The Giants had almost drawn even in 3 consecutive possessions. They scored touchdowns. And Cowboys, of course, with the 4 turnovers, the Giants have had 2. First down and 10. The ball near the 10-yard line of the Giants. Cowboys trailing by 5. Dorsett looking, trying to find some kind of an avenue, some little gap. Nothing happening. Harry Carson made the stop as the Cowboys defense strung it out once again. Giants defense, brother, and that's what they have been doing. We watched it early in the first half. They were really tough on Dorsett, and as OJ has said over and over, when you have a Dorsett, you keep giving it to him often enough, he is going to find one of those gaps and explode.
He certainly has come close tonight. I'm surprised he hasn't broken one yet.
2nd and 10. That's Cosby in motion. That's Cosby. Good hands on the part of Cosby, and nailed and drilled out of bounds by Patterson at the 5-yard line. Take a look at it from the field angle. Good concentration on the part of Cosby. Patterson a little slow getting there.
Well, Elvis had to run around almost a pick situation there, like a basketball pick. It took Elvis a little deeper to get out of the wide receiver's way that was coming across the field, and that was just enough to give Cosby the room.
3rd down and 5. The Cowboys could get a first down inside the 1-yard line. Giants crowd getting into this once again. Tony White hangs it up high. That was Perry Williams against Tony Hill. Tony Hill, I'm sure, looking for a flag as Perry Williams was right into him. The blitz was on. Danny White reading it. Tried to hang it up for Tony Hill. Williams right at the line of scrimmage. He can bump him in there for 5 yards. Now he just sprints stride for stride. Maybe got a little arm into that back, but they are not calling so many of these plays this year. Stepped in for the field goal. This to bring the Cowboys to within 2. 23-yard attempt. Very close call against Perry Williams. It did not draw the flag, and the Cowboys settled for 3 points. And we have a 2-point game. The Giants leading the Cowboys 26-24.
Families have come to us. They believe in liberty, Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Our house is special to us, so we shopped around for homeowners insurance.
Liberty Mutual gave us the right protection at the right price. We believe in liberty.
America believes in liberty. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
If you just ask for a light beer,
I'll have a light.
You never know what you'll get.
That's me packing the car. Best vacation ever. Here's Rock City, Texas, L.A., all in 3 days.
Bud Light.
Here I am in Death Valley. That's me looking for water.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste,
wait, there's more.
Ask for Bud Light, because everything else
Give me a light.
is just a light.
That's me packing the car. Best vacation.
Off-road racing, a tough test for a tough truck. For over 15 years, Nissan-built trucks have been racing on these sanctioned survival courses and winning, and winning, and winning.
We race so you can win. Because the same high-tech tough that helps Nissan finish first off the road helps your Nissan last on the street.
The technology is advanced. The truck is tough. The name is Nissan.
Saturday, undefeated college powers collide when 7th-ranked Penn State runs into number 8 Alabama. Coverage begins with College Football Today, Saturday on ABC.
Giants field goal kicker Jess Atkinson filling in for an injured Ali Haji Sheikh has to be thinking about that missed conversion. Giants' first touchdown here in the second half. He hammered one into the crossbar. Otherwise, the score would be 27-24. So a field goal by the Cowboys could put them in front. Phil McConkey is deep. Set the end to kick off for the Cowboys. McConkey bobbles the ball at the 5-yard line. He'll have to bring it out. And he is upended at the 6-yard line. The Giants starting deep in their own territory, and you might suspect it. NFC Pro Bowler Bill Bates down there. Special teams Pro Bowler of a year ago. You West Coast viewers, by the way, have quite a show to look forward to right after the Cowboys and Giants finish this game tonight. It's MacGyver rescuing hostages trapped in Southeast Asia. America's newest hero. MacGyver tonight. And for you in the rest of the country, catch the ABC News Weekend Report coming your way later tonight. The Giants at their own 6-yard line. A bobble ball by McConkey has set them back deep in their own territory. This is their worst starting field position of the night. Morris. Good running by Joe Morris. Morris, he's out over the 15-yard line. Short of the first down by a yard. Jeff Rohr and Clinkscale made the stop for Dallas.
You can't say enough about Joe Morris. He's a tough little back, and even though I'm against rotating backs, the Giants, they do it because a guy like Morris will get tired. He's accustomed to carrying the ball about 18 times. Any more than that, he wears down a little bit.
At 5'7", 190, 195 pounds, he is one tough little cookie. He does also take quite a pounding. Morris again. Tries to surge for the first down. He will not make it. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Tough running over that left side against Randy White. Tough running over the right side against Ed Jones and John Dutton.
We have two very good football teams playing here tonight. You know, you wonder why these teams could move the ball up and down the field sometimes and then stop them cold. Heck, these are two real good football teams, and each team's going to make the play now and then.
They gave him a lot on that surge, and they're going to bring the sticks out and make the measurement. I didn't think he had it. And he will be short. So it'll be 3rd down and that much. And decision time for Bill Parcells. Cowboys second against the rush in the NFC. Tough against the run when they know you have to come with it. Yeah.
Don't give them the time to penetrate. You got a 6'3" quarterback, just quarterback sneaking.
Wouldn't you love to see a little play action and a little dink? Maybe to McConkey. Extra effort on Morris, and he'll have the first down.
He lucked out on that one because the Cowboys did a good job of getting penetration, but Morris with that low center of balance there just spun around and got the first down.
Well, I don't know. Now they have marked it out over the 16-yard line. We're going to have another measurement.
A little more penetration than we thought.
This one will be close once again. Giants feel fairly certain they do have it. Cowboys want to see for sure. First down, Giants. 12 minutes remaining in the game. Giants over the Cowboys 26-24. Cowboys have dominated the Giants over the years. This series that dates all the way back to 1960 when it all began, particularly during the decade of the 70s. The Giants beat the Cowboys twice a year ago. That's Morris once again. It's a yard, and that's it. Hagman and Lockhart defensively there for the Cowboys. Interesting left side of that line defensively for the Cowboys. Mike Hagman and Ed Jones were teammates back at Tennessee State a decade ago. They've been playing together for 13 years. Big number 72 and number 58, Mike Hagman. Second down and 9. Sims having a big night. Over 330 yards. 13 of 24. Has the time and he throws underneath. And it's Manuel. But only a pickup of about 6 yards. It'll be third down and 3. The night this youngster has had. If you weren't with us earlier, a 51-yard touchdown to open the scoring in the second half. A few moments later, a 23-yard touchdown on a pass that was tipped by Dexter Clinkscale, and Manuel kept his concentration. And the Giants will work from the shotgun on third and 3. Sims, the ball is loose. And Jeffcoat might have it. Had the whistle blown, Ed Jones will get the sack. Jeffcoat is underneath, and I think he has the football. Randy White is also there. It was Ed Jones who jarred it loose. And Jeffcoat comes up with the recovery. Sims trying to get the ball downfield. Nothing happening. That's Jeffcoat 77. Here comes Too Tall. Ball is stripped. Jeffcoat dives in there along with Randy White, and Jeffcoat gets the recovery. First down, Dallas. They're at the 16-yard line of the Giants. Seesaw game. We hope you're enjoying it like we're enjoying it. Cowboys and the Giants. On first down, John Williams. And Williams inside the 15-yard line to the 13-yard line. A gain of a couple. It'll be second down and 8. Williams, of course, the USF feller that was with Michigan and then later Oakland. Had 96 yards in the recent USFL championship game for Oakland. Out of Wisconsin. They marked the ball right at the 13, so it'll be second down and 7. That's the time remaining in the game. Inside once again to Williams, and he is met by Jim Burt, the nose tackle. There will be no gain.
They've run that play 3 times. Evidently, they saw something in the Giants' films during the week that they thought that play would work, and this is the 3rd time they've run it, and I don't think they've gotten more than 3 yards on it each time they've run it.
I was going to suggest they go back and look at that film again. Williams has been hammered each time he's tried to bring it inside. Third down and 7. Seconds ticking off the clock. We're in single digits now. 9:05, and she's moving. 2-point difference. Giants leading 26-24. 30-second clock is moving too. Had to hurry to get it off. Trying to get deep. trying to get the ball, Tony Hill. And I think that Danny White probably was a little bit upset, Joe. You picked up that 30-second clock, and he had to really hurry it. And everyone was hurried on the play, and the timing was thrown completely off. And Septian will come on 4th down.
I really believe that was the reason for that misfire. He and the receiver were on different pages. Danny was concerned with that 30-second clock, and the concentration just wasn't there.
The missed conversion on the first touchdown here in the second half of the Giants by young Jess Atkinson. Well, he's thinking about it right now as Septian can put the Cowboys ahead. 29-yard attempt. And Dallas takes the lead once again. There's Atkinson. He was the one who missed the conversion. Hit the crossbar. And the Cowboys take the lead by 1.
This is one of Nissan's most technologically advanced cars. It has computer-controlled carburation, a 4-cylinder overhead cam engine, 5-speed transaxle for precise front-wheel drive handling. Surprisingly, this is also Nissan's lowest-priced car, the Sentra, America's best-selling import. For an economy car that doesn't skimp on technology, the name is Nissan.
There's got to be more purpose in your workout. You've got to concentrate. Concentrate. Focus on the beam. Nail it.
It's not enough to do many things well. You want to do one thing, the best. That takes determination, concentration, purpose.
Feel your confidence.
Everything for one thing.
Feel the bar.
At E.F. Hutton, we understand the importance of purpose. We concentrate on one purpose, serving the investor. And that's why it is, why it's been for 80 years. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
Dallas has retaken the lead. They dominated in the first half. The Giants came out and scored in their first 3 possessions of the second half, but they missed a conversion. A ball hitting the upright, and that was the difference. Otherwise, we'd have a tied game. But right now, the Cowboys lead at 27-26. Septian set to kick off. McConkey is deep for the Giants.
And that's what put the Giants in the hole last time, was that fumble by McConkey down there. He only got it out to the 6-yard line. Of course, the other fumble set up the score.
Septian hits it. Oh. This will be Kenny Hill. And Kenny Hill over the 20-yard line where it'll be first down Giants. We talked earlier about Eddie Robinson of Grambling becoming the all-time winningest coach. 324 victories yesterday. We congratulated him. The flag is down. And while they sort this out, we'll remind you that later tonight on ABC News Weekend Report, the Senate has failed to approve legislation necessary to keep the government from running out of money. That story and more later tonight.
Blocked in the back, number 44 on the return.
We'll have that story and more later tonight on the ABC News Weekend Report. And it's going to be very interesting. What are we going to do? I guess we're broke. Giants back deep in their territory once again, inside the 9-yard line. Lots of time. There's Rob Carpenter. Carpenter stays on his feet. He's out over the 30-yard line, and Phil Simms, I mean, he could have written a letter back there.
He could have, because Dallas was playing run defense that time. They really didn't expect him to throw the drop back pass backed up that close to his end zone. That's why he had so much time.
They had watched them close everything down into the middle, and it just became a big stack right in the middle. They're all piled up. Finally, nothing doing downfield. He finds Carpenter. Carpenter gets the first down out to the 32-yard line, where it's 1st and 10 for Phil Simms and the Giants. Simms finally has to release it. Manuel was well covered, and he puts it out of bounds. And we mentioned Eddie Robinson's great feet. mentioned Phil Niekro winning his 300th today at the age of 46. That's truly remarkable. And young Jason Simpson went for 80 yards and a touchdown in his first start for the
Army Navy Academy down in Carlsbad.
Got to be a little proud of that young man, don't you, OJ?
Oh, I wish I was there to see it, but they tell me they got it on film.
Second down and 10. Morris, you can hear it all the way up here as Morris is banged after a 2-yard pickup. Randy White and Gene Lockhart out there defensively for the Cowboys.
Did the boys call Jason Juice Jr., the young Juice, or what?
I'm trying to get him to call him Orenthal Jr., but he doesn't like that.
Third down and 7. Sims 15 of 27, over 360 yards, 3 touchdowns. He has 1 interception. Blitz is on. They're all coming. McConkey's there. And McConkey, again, with a great catch. He holds on just as he's hammered. He was hit hard by Dennis Thurman and Michael Downs. He comes down with the ball. First down, Giants at the 37-yard line of Dallas. And again, Sims knew the blitz was coming. A lot of poise. It's coming from his right side. He could see it, he could feel it, and he held on and got the ball to McConkey.
Sims made quite a catch himself on that snap, I might add. High and away to the right side.
A seesaw football game. Back and forth. Cowboys dominating in the first half. Losing it in the third quarter. Regaining it in the fourth quarter. Now the Giants are on the move. Morris saw an opening and tried to get through it. And Lockhart was there to hold him at the 29-yard line. But he picks up 7.
Maurice Carthen certainly threw a good block out there on Dexter Clinkscale.
Second down and 7. 6 minutes and 11 seconds, and the clock ticking away. Second down and 3. Morris, Carthen remain the setbacks. And they'll have to get something happening. They're down to 3 seconds on the 30-second clock. They get the snap off, but again, everything is out of sync when you're rushing it. And down goes Morris right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down and 3.
I was a little surprised to see that Sims didn't audibilize for number 87, Byron Williams. He was one-on-one at the top with Ron Fellows, and he had over half the field to work with.
Mention that Atkinson, young Jess Atkinson, filling in for the injured Ali Haji Sheikh, missed that conversion, the first touchdown here in the second half for the Giants. He probably is getting just a little fluttery on the sidelines. They fail here for the first down attempt, or don't turn it over. He'll be on deck. And it will be fourth down, and I'm sure we'll see Atkinson. Sims unhappy either with the pattern or with his own effort. And here comes Atkinson, the rookie from Maryland. As a senior, had a remarkable 17 of 20. His career best at college was 50 yards. We mentioned last week he made one from 49 yards against Philadelphia, but he missed a crucial 23-yarder that would have kept that game out of overtime. The Giants, however, did go on to win it in overtime. This will be a 47-yard attempt. Jeff Rutledge is the holder. Bart Oates will provide the snap. Yes. A new hero. You miss a conversion, you come right back and hit one from 47 yards out with 4:57 remaining to take the lead for the Giants. They'll love you for that.
Hey, you thinking what I'm thinking?
Meet Nissan's hottest truck, the best-selling King Cab. Engineered to hitch a tough, smooth-side, strong box to 9 cubic feet of lockable storage and jump seats behind the buckets. Nissan, first and still, king of the compact. Yahoo! Come take a ride in the wide open spaces. The cab is king. The name is Nissan.
This Bud's for everyone who puts the roads on the map.
This Bud's for you.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this man's for you.
Whenever the moon was full, it was out there.
What was that?
Hiding in the fog, watching, and waiting to strike again. And again. Now, from the master of mystery and suspense comes Stephen King's Silver Bullet, rated R. Starts Friday, October 11th at a theater near you.
The Lomax to Green tandem is the St. Louis Cardinals' firepower. Can the Washington Redskins shut them down? Live at 9 Eastern, it's ABC's Monday Night Football tomorrow.
Giants leading once again by 2 deep for the Dallas Cowboys. Robert Levette, the rookie from Georgia Tech, and John Williams set to kick off. Jess Atkinson, who had just put the Giants ahead with a 47-yard field goal. Hooks it, it's high, and this will be Levette from the 10-yard line. And Levette with a fine run out over the 30-yard line, and we'll see the offensive unit now again of the Cowboys. And let's go back a moment ago. Here's Atkinson. This is just before. Closes his eyes. This is before the kick. Checks it out. And the rookie from Maryland watches it, and he knew right there. It had just the right amount of hook. It started out over the right upright and split the uprights right in the middle. 1st and 10 Dallas at the 31-yard line. Danny White, Tony Hill, good concentration and a good pass by Danny White. 1st down Dallas. They're out at the 47-yard line of the Giants.
In the first half, Dallas had a lot of success throwing the ball on 1st down. They sort of got away from that coming into the second half, and they've gone back to it, and it looks as if it's going to be successful for them. They continue to do it.
At the 47-yard line. 1st down Dallas. Tony Hill now has 8 receptions for 108 yards. Mike Renfro is over 100 yards for Dallas. A lot of offense here tonight. And a tough, hard-hitting game. Dorsett. Giants string it out once again. Tripped up, hustling out there, Leonard Marshall, who is rapidly turning into a fine defensive end. Casey Merrill came into camp after holding out just this past week. He has not been activated. But while Casey Merrill, a good pass rusher, was in a holdout position, Leonard Marshall, a 3rd-year man from LSU, has developed into not only a good defensive end against the run, but a pretty good pass rusher. As a matter of fact, he's leading the league was leading the league after 4 games with 7.5. He's had 1 sack here tonight. The loss, a 3-yard loss. The Cowboys have a 2nd down and 13, and we are now told that Leonard Marshall continues to lead the NFL with 8.5 sacks. Danny White, James Jones, the original line of scrimmage +1, so it will be 3rd down and 9.
Good coverage that time by Andy Hedden. You know, he'd given that play all day long. Picked up about 3 yards when they needed 13.
Now you have 3:16 remaining. 3rd down, 16, and we talked about Jess Atkinson and his concern prior to his field goal. 3rd down and 9. Correct myself, but Septien on the Cowboys side of the field. He could be the major difference with a Giant 2-point lead. Danny White just does get it away. Leonard Marshall really hammered Danny White just as he released the ball. Coming from that blind side.
Wasn't it unusual to see Dallas line up in a regular formation and not? I mean, I'm a little surprised they didn't go back to the shotgun on this.
And they kept their best receiver, Doug Cosby. Well, his best receiver, it's a matter of opinion. What a hit. Oh, nice hit. They kept Doug Cosby in the pass block. Heck, I'd want him out in the pattern.
McConkey is back on 4th down. Saxon on to punt for Dallas. Saxon averaging 37 yards a punt tonight. Well below his 2nd place in the NFC average coming into the game. And did it get into the end zone? Yes, it did. That one a 51-yard punt, but there will be a net of 31. And the Giants will have the ball at the 20-yard line.
Well, it's in the hands of this offensive line right now, this Giants running attack. Ideally, they'd like to keep the ball on the ground and run out that clock. And Dallas is a mighty difficult defense to do that with.
There is Leonard Marshall. Had a real weight problem when he first came up with the Giants. Was a second-round pick in '83. But he has really put his act together, as I mentioned earlier, with Casey Merrill being a holdout during training camp, and the first part of the season he got to play both against the pass and the run. He's always been tough against the run, but now he's learned to play against the pass, turning into a 5 defensive end. Giants 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. That's the time remaining. The Cowboys have 3 timeouts, the Giants 2. Carpenter to the 22-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
I'll say the same thing about the Giants that I said about the Cowboys. They've been very successful throwing the ball on 1st down. I realize now it's less than 3 minutes in the game, and they want to try to protect this 2-point lead, but in the NFL, it's not wise to try to protect the 2-point lead.
I think it's a little early yet too, O.J.
Cowboys called timeout. They used one of them. They didn't want the Giants to run off 29 seconds before they snapped that football. Giants leading the Cowboys 29-27 in a NFC Eastern Division matchup, and we've got another one for you tomorrow night. The St. Louis Cardinals are 3-1. The Redskins are 1-3. Cardinals with an explosive offense and a defense that was much improved over last year. Addition of their #1 draft pick, youngster from Mississippi, Dunn, who has moved in as a starter as the right linebacking position. Of course, E.J. Jr. in the middle, one tough cookie. Bubba Baker, the defensive end. Those are the standings right at the moment. That will change in just a matter of minutes in Giant Stadium here in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
You know, I have well, we see Coach Parcells down here talking to Sims. I have to believe the one thing he's telling Phil is let's not commit a turnover. We're going to have to throw the ball here, but be very selective with where you throw the football.
Phil Sims is rapidly approaching a 400-yard game. He's 16 of 29, 394 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That is the 4th best output in Giants history. We'll keep the clock in so you can keep track of what's transpiring. Sims loses the ball. The Cowboys are all over it. They're going to get it back.
Unbelievable.
Phil Sims just pulling away from the center. They have had trouble all season long. They bobbled many balls moving away from the center. That time Gene Lockhart covers that one, and the Cowboys have all of a sudden got themselves great field possession. They'll be at the Giants' 19-yard line. There it is, just pulling away from center Bart Oates.
Yeah, Bart Oates. They had a couple of fumbles against the Eagles last week, too, but he had a nose tackle on his head, and Bart admitted that he was firing out a little bit too prematurely and not getting the ball back. He also had a bad snap in a shotgun situation. So Bart, he's going to have to get those snaps together.
2:40 remaining in the game. Both teams have 2 timeouts. Dorsett stopped at the line of scrimmage. Dorsett covering the football. He'll be dropped for a yard loss. It'll be 2nd down 11, and now the Giants will use one of their timeouts because they don't want the Cowboys to run it down right near that 2-minute warning. The Giants will be down to 1 timeout.
Well, that's one play Tony sort of hurt his team, because at this time of the game, you're not thinking about breaking it. You're in field goal range. You want to hit the hole as hard as you can and get as much as you can, and hopefully you'll get 4 or 5 yards in a situation like that. He tried to reverse his field almost and break it for a longer run, and it's cost his team.
Septian, I mentioned earlier tonight, Joe and OJ, that last week against Houston, he had a disastrous day. And he couldn't blame it on the wind because they were in Houston playing indoors. I asked him before the game, did the air conditioning give him too much of a breeze? And he, of course, is a great young man, good-natured about it. He said, I don't know what happened. He said, I felt good, I'm in perfect condition. I was kicking the ball well before the game. I just flat missed it, and indeed he did. He missed one from 47 yards out. He missed one from 35 yards out, and he missed 2 from 36 yards out. Now that is totally uncharacteristic of Septian. He is so accurate from 40 yards in.
And if he felt bad last week, you let him, if he get an opportunity tonight to miss this one, he will really feel bad.
I think you saw Tom Landry come over, give him a smile, and say, perhaps say, well, this is another week. Smiling, yes, but quite serious about it all. 2nd down and 11. Play action. Jones, and he is whacked and taken out of bounds. Short of the 1st down, Elvis Patterson made the hit.
Well, that was a very good call, and Byron Hunt went for the fake with both feet. It was a good thing Elvis came up to make the tackle. That could have been an easy 6 points.
Yeah, there's just stunned silence in this stadium. The Giants in command. They're moving the football. Sims, in a simple pull away from the center, bobbled the football. The exchange between Bart Oates, the center. The Giants lose the football. Lockhart recovering. And now Dallas really just working on the clock. They get a 1st down. They'll take it. If they don't, they'll bring out Septien. And will be kicking something like a 26 or 27-yard field goal. Tried to sneak one through. Tried to get Dorsett through the pack. They do not. There's a loss of a couple of yards, and we'll see Septien.
Good hit by Jerome Sally, by the way. He was playing nose tackle the last series.
Well, the Cowboys, even if they are successful, and they should well be, Septien over his career so accurate from in close. The Giants will have no timeouts. They will have 2:23 on the clock, and that's a lot of time. Field goal kickers are really a different breed in this game. There's Atkinson, who, as I mentioned earlier, and several times that he missed that conversion on the Giants' first touchdown of the game, hitting the uprights. And that, of course, left them in the position where the Cowboys are kicking for the win instead of the tie.
I think in my career, it was only on 3 occasions where kickers cost us the game, where we had a final march and they missed the field goal. And in Buffalo, they had vigilante groups after that guy when the game was over.
It is so frustrating. Big men banging each other around for the entire game, and all of a sudden, little fresh uniform comes onto the field, and he is the one that will make the difference. 32-yard attempt. Hogaboom handles a low snap. It was a low snap from Rafferty. Hogaboom handled it, and Septien splits the uprights, and Cosby runs out on the field, as do a lot of the Cowboys, to congratulate Septien, who had that tough game a week ago with the 4 misses. Ordinarily, Tom Rafferty is right on target with that snap. This time it's low. Good concentration on the part of Hogaboom. That was almost blocked. But Septien drills it through the uprights, and the Cowboys had the lead once again. But still, 2:19 remaining. The Giants, however, with no timeouts.
That could be a problem, but 2:19, the clock's got to stop for the 2-minute warning. That's still plenty of time to get in possession for another field goal or even score a touchdown.
And as you pointed out, Joe, the average yards per completion tonight are rather high for Phil Simms, so he completes 2 or 3 passes. They should be in field goal range.
And what will the Cowboys do? Will they get out of their regular defense that they play so well, the blitzing type defense, and start playing a zone?
I think we'll see some form of prevent defense, particularly since there are no timeouts. And I know you hate that, Joe.
Yeah, that's why I was bringing it up.
I think everyone hates it. What the Giants want right now is a good return from McConkey. There's just Atkinson. He may yet still have another opportunity. He hit from 47 yards out earlier to put the Giants in the lead after he had missed the conversion. And he may not have another shot. Septien hits it. Kenny Hill brings it out to the 23-yard line. 2:10 remaining in the game. And out comes the Giants offense. And we will be backed up once again. 3 times here in the second half, the Giants have suffered penalties following a kickoff. Referee Chuck Heverly working the game tonight.
Holding on the return, number 57. First down.
Byron Hunt. And other than the 23-yard line, the Giants will begin inside their 12-yard line.
Every time they began inside the 20, they've run the ball on first down. They can't stop the clock in 10 seconds for the 2-minute warning, but I don't think they'll run it.
Dallas stay pretty much with their 4 old personnel, but they back them up. Clinkscale very deep along with Downs. McConkey races out over the 30 to the 32-yard line for a Giants first down, stopping the clock with 2:04. 21-yard pickup, and the Giants will have a timeout working for them at the 2-minute warning.
It's amazing, this game of football. Coaches stress, they keep talking about mistakes. It's a game of mistakes, the penalties and the turnovers. And this, again, is certainly a case of mistakes and turnovers. Good football game, but we've had so many fumbles, interceptions, penalties.
Johnson split to the right. McConkey, Manuel, Johnson. Up to the left. Sims. Good coverage by the Cowboys. Sims feeling the pressure. Throws it incomplete. And we get the 2-minute warning. Still Sims. Limping slightly. We'll go over to see Bill Parcells, and we'll be back at Giant Stadium in a moment.
Power. That's what I practice for. Power. And afterward, I want all the power I can get in my antiperspirant. Speed Stick.
Now, Speed Stick is improved with the most powerful wetness fighter you can buy. Nothing, but nothing fights wetness better.
The Wide Stick. Man-sized protection. Saves a lot of strokes. Helps keep you drier and odor-free all day.
Now it's the most powerful you can buy. New improved Speed Stick antiperspirant.
By Menon.
You'd never expect to catch a fish in downtown Austin. Yet that's the reason people come to the Austin Angler, one of the few places in Texas you can get a custom-made split bamboo fly rod and a fresh-tied woolly one to go on the end. So if you go there, remember, keep your rod tip up and put your Visa card down. Because at the Angler, they don't take fishing lightly, and they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Now, Sears' biggest hardware sale of the year, with big savings on hundreds of items. Save 50% on this 99-piece tool set, $88. Save 50% on this Craftsman screwdriver set, plier set, or wrench set, $19.99. Sears' best Craftsman hammer or steel tape, $9.99. For more big savings, come to Sears National Hardware Sale now.
There's more for your life at Sears.
It's a stunned sellout crowd here at Giant Stadium. Hardly anyone has left the stadium. Cowboys leading the Giants by 1, 30-29. And they're thinking back to the conversion attempt that was missed that made it a 2-point margin, allowed the Cowboys to take the lead following a Phil Simms fumble exchange with Bart Oates. The Cowboys recovered, and then moments later, Septien put the Cowboys ahead with a 31-yard field goal. 1:59 remaining for the Giants. They have no timeouts. It's 2nd down and 10. And whether by accident or not, it was McConkey making a good play against Everson Walls. They got tangled up. Walls had no chance for the interception. It'll be 3rd down and 10. That's McConkey trying to work it to the outside. That's Downs on the inside. He releases him out to Walls. There's the collision, preventing Walls from having an opportunity of making that interception. 3rd down and 10. It's a 2-down situation, of course. And it'll be 4th and 10, and they will go again as that ball just had too much on it for Manuel to handle. Phil Simms, who's had a wonderful night, he has produced the 2nd best effort in terms of yardage ever for a Giant. Only Y.A. Tittle exceeded his yardage output. Tittle threw for 505 yards back in 1962. Simms has thrown for 415 tonight. And it's come down to this. 4th down and 10. And coming down with it is Bobby Johnson, and he is near midfield with a Giant first down, stopping the clock at 1:45. Pretty gutsy. That is great. That's great. They didn't do what I think the Cowboys thought they would do, throw one over the middle trying to pick the first down up. They put it way up there.
Good pass protection. Phil throws a very difficult pass, and he throws it on the money. That's sensational.
Right between defenders, Ron Fellows and Bill Bates. It had to be perfect. It was. Crowd now back in it. Draw play. Galbraith nailed at the line of scrimmage. Just trying, I presume, to keep that defensive line honest.
You're not going to keep them honest now. Those guys are going to pass rush no matter what. And to try to keep them honest at this stage in the game is just doesn't make sense.
Throw it. Sims had to hurry it and could not get it to Byron Williams, who was open. And down goes Sims. He's hammered once again. Stops the clock with 1:22. It'll be third down.
Well, they're getting some receivers open. As you mentioned here, Byron Williams was open, but Dallas putting that pass pressure to rush on with so much pressure, they're getting to Sims.
You have to presume that young Jess Atkinson is hoping he has another opportunity. His career best, college, 49 yards. Sims, timing pattern, and is picked off. Everson Walls with his 4th interception of the season. Twice Everson Walls has led the league in interceptions, and he picks off a key win tonight for Dallas. And Dallas, with the Giants unable to stop the clock, should be able to run it out with ease. 1:16 remaining. A desperation shot by Sims. He had to release it, tried to get it to Manuel. A lot of pressure on Sims.
There's a safety blitz on the outside here with Downs, and he just didn't get anything on the ball. It looked like it slipped out of his hands a bit.
And
well,
there's Walls.
A missed extra point conversion, a bad snap from Senator quarterback. It's very frustrating for this Giant football team.
They'll meet again, of course, later in the season down in Dallas. Next Sunday, Pittsburgh will be facing the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to watch Dallas a little later on in the season. We'll watch them against the Cardinals Monday, November the 4th. The Giants next Sunday are at Cincinnati. And we'll watch the Giants once again against the Washington Redskins. That game in mid-November. And for Bill Parcells, what a game this has been. A game of ups and downs, back and forth. And as Joe mentioned a moment ago, it all came down to a misconversion. It came down to a simple missed exchange between the center and Phil Sims. Statistics, I'm sure, mean nothing as Phil Sims with 36 for 432 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And tomorrow night, the Cardinals against the Redskins will have a chance to remain tied with Dallas as they take on the Washington Redskins in the nation's capital, and we'll be there to bring it to you. Tom Landry is once again the second winningest coach in the history of the NFL. He was tied earlier today by Don Shula as the Miami Dolphins beat Pittsburgh at 246 victories. Tom Landry walks off the field with 247 as the final seconds expire. There is a major story still to unfold here in the National Football Conference of the NFL. Once again, the final score, Dallas defeats the Giants by 1, 30-29. This ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you by Nissan, builders of technologically advanced cars and trucks for over 50 years. And by Budweiser, for all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, for all your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs. Stay tuned on the West Coast for MacGyver coming up next. Most of you in the rest of the country, stay tuned for the ABC News Weekend Report. Travel arrangements made through a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United is the only airline to serve all 50 states. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. We'll see you tomorrow night from the nation's capital with the Cards and the Redskins.